Now we just need to really make sure we avoid the plane of Jeff.
An entire plane of disappointment.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, just full of sighs that create storms.
Well, and it's also super passive aggressive too.
Everywhere you look, it's just rolling eyes and heavy sighs. Yeah.
Sounds like a high school.
A lot of sullen silences. The wind doesn't blow; it sighs.
All right. What are we doing?
All right, so
Gave a kid a good send off.
yeah, he gave.
Oh yeah.
Unnamed child.
Mm-hmm.
No, he had a name.
Yeah, we
Not that any of us knew or cared to learn.
Yeah, not that any of you bothered to learn it, but he had a name.
I figured I'd have more than 10 minutes to learn his name, but somebody managed to kill him within 10 minutes.
I knew his name.
Clumsy.
That shirt.
His name is Ringer now.
Right. Ringer? Oh, too soon.
Oh.
Too soon.
Oh.
But I will blame Ringer's death on you for eternity.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, so sad.
Not the first, not the last, probably.
Yeah.
We were leaving.
Possibly the
leaving
youngest, though, ain't he?
Threatening me.
So
I
you
don't know.
guys were leaving Krezk.
Yeah.
Such as it is, now Krezk is just sort of a, it's kind of just a husk of what it used to be. Most of the, most of the buildings are sort of burnt out. All of them are looted. There's chewed bits of villager,
Nothing really worthwhile to even pick over.
Yeah.
It's not really been picked over. You see some mongrel folks skittering away in the shadows every now and again.
All right, let's start heading to Wallachia, right? That's on the way to the castle.
Oh, we were
Town.
going to take some of the abbot's wine and deliver it to Wallachia along with the other one.
Yeah.
Okay,
Downstairs.
so yeah, you guys are gonna go down to the cellar,
Yeah.
loot some of that wine.
Yep.
So yeah, he actually has he's got a couple of bottles of the champagne down there.
Nice. I'll
Which has-
definitely dash one of those.
Yeah, I'm sure that'll make it all the way to
The bottle will.
yeah.
After witnessing such
Oh
a
no, they gave us
death,
nothing but empty bottles.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm here to deliver my good intentions. Great.
Okay.
Now I'm way less thirsty.
Yeah, so load up the cart with some extra wine.
Mm-hmm.
To Wallachia!
You say all cheerfully as you're pulling into this graveyard of a town. Yeah. The camera pans back, smoldering ruins and bodies. Yay!
Popping the
Is Nico the only one that's cheerful?
Oh yeah, like everybody's just gotta read the room, man. Like,
I think Felix would be like, all right, let's leave this shithole in a hurry.
yeah, well, nothing here.
Well, a lot of potential for a necromancer, but
Yeah. Wasted potential.
All right, so
now's
you
not the
guys.
time.
So you guys travel east. You guys travel east to Wallachia. You arrive in town.
Does this only take one day, or is this a multi-day travel?
So it was multiple days. So if you guys want to do something, it takes 2 days to get there. So if you guys want to do some things, is someone
We were
getting
gonna,
paid? What the hell is that noise?
What is that?
I don't know.
It's on Gills.
Yeah, that's me. Sorry.
Are you zip tying someone? What are you doing?
I'm waiting for this party to get their shit together. So I see my girlfriend's nail polish everywhere, and now I'm painting my nails because I'm bored.
All right.
Hey,
Well,
you asked.
That was my fault for asking. That's what happened. So lesson learned. Good. All right. So
when Ed says you have 2 days to do something, I know that's going to go on like a half an hour tangent of everyone else like, I want to do this, I want to do that. I just want to get to the next town.
Yeah.
Yeah, Nico's going to be just making sure the wine's of a suitable quality to pass out.
Can I read Geshing's book again on the ride over?
all right. So you guys moving along. You guys are moving along the road. Nico's still drinking, actually having a pretty good time.
Yeah, I'll be singing some drinking songs or something.
Right. Yeah.
Trying to get Boomer to join in with the chorus.
Right.
Yeah. I'll have a few drinks with Nico too.
Right, but yours are sad drinks. Like yours aren't happy drinks.
Yeah. Mine are like sad movie drinks.
Right.
Like staring moodily into the distance.
Yeah, the camera goes black and white.
Yeah, you keep trying to get him to sing like drinking songs, but he just keeps singing like Mountain Dwarf like funeral dirges, like Stone Rose. And you're like, oh, come on, man! Like, come on. You're kind of bringing it down here. So the first night, you guys sort of pull off. You're gonna camp.
Tiny hut.
Oh, you're gonna do tiny hut.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, you make Leoman. Oh, not Leoman. Tiny hut. Sorry.
Just tiny hut. No trademark.
Generic tiny hut.
Kirkland brand.
Kirkland tiny hut. All right. So. Yeah, you guys all bed down. Is anybody gonna keep watch or?
I'll keep drinking and singing if that counts as watching.
I'll do the first watch.
Okay.
I'll do second.
I'll do last.
Okay. Awesome, thank you. All right, so you guys, thank you so much.
And you guys can come and go from the hut as well. But if I leave, it goes away. So I have to stay in the hut.
Okay. Cool.
All right, so you guys bed down. Gil, can I get a perception check?
You sure can. I think it'd be better if I was passively perceiving, but let's see here. 9, 12. 12 altogether.
12. All right, yeah. So you're sort of sitting at the, towards the, I don't know, does the hut have like a flap or a door or?
They can just walk through it.
Oh, okay. So yeah, you're sitting at the sort of the edge of the field, sort of keeping watch outside, and you notice you can hear things sort of moving around in the night. Sounds like large-ish things kind of moving around, and you get the distinct feeling of being watched, but you never actually really see a firm anything. Every now and again, like sort of out of the corner of your eye, you think you catch like the glint of maybe eyes or something like that looking at you. But when you turn your head and look, you don't see anything.
Shit, my ex-wife is here.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and wake Boomer and let him know that I got a feeling we're being watched. I keep hearing large noise out in the brushes.
All right, so Boomer, you're on your watch. You got a perception check.
All right. Uh,
12. So yeah, as you're watching Boomer, you're sitting there, sort of listening to the sounds of the night, and Kavan, his eyes sort of light up, and you're holding the holding the axe across your knees, sort of, dripping ethereal blood next to you.
Nice.
And Kavan says, kind of a strange tribe you have here.
Yes, they are strange, but they're mine.
Huh. Well, how long do you think this tribe will stay together?
Hopefully a while. Don't know what I would do.
Yes. The loss of clan it's like losing your own life.
Ooh.
I've been talking to some. I've been talking.
No,
to
you go, come on.
I've been talking to some of the other elders. Once we're free of this place, they said they'd like to move on. But I find myself still thirsting for battle and would like to stay with you.
I would like that too.
Good. All right. Enough of that. Tell me about the time that you ate a werewolf.
Again, this
Yes,
time in
impressive. Almost as impressive as the time I turned a goblin into a pretzel.
And he laughs. They're not very bendy.
They can be.
So you and Kavan while the night away, swapping stories of murder and mayhem, of glorious battle.
Yeah.
Kavan tells you about the time that he managed to decapitate three rival warriors in one swing.
Oh, wow, that is impressive.
Yeah,
that is impressive. That would be a sight to see.
There were 6 at the time, but
And he said, he says, if only I could have seen it myself, but there was so much blood.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, and you tell him, of vanquishing a green dragon. You tell him of the time you had to knock out Nico.
Yeah.
For his own, for his own good. But such was your skill with the axe that you managed to render him unconscious, but not split his skull.
He's an artist, really.
Right. Yeah, this is bespoke murder, is what this is.
Yeah. Then there was the time that Felix cast Enlarge on me, and I ran down the cave hole and dragged the bandit's head across the top of the cave.
Kavan laughs. He thinks this is hysterical. It's amazing how you can grind down bone.
Oh, yes. There was not much left. Just legs.
Yeah, so you guys spend the night just talking about just blood and mayhem. And having a great time. Surprisingly, you don't hear a lot of movement, or the movement that you did hear at the beginning of your conversation hasn't really continued anymore. Like, it seems really quiet out in the woods as you and Kavan swap stories and laugh about dismemberment and mayhem.
Cool.
Yeah, so
they want to listen too.
Yeah, that's probably it.
Yeah.
But anyway, but other than that, your watch passes more or less without. Without.
All right. I'll go wake up Gaston.
Thanks. You want a burrito?
Good morning, Gaston. The Earth says hello.
The sky's
Wakey,
awake, so I'm
wakey.
awake.
And so Kavan is also like, ha ha, good morning. It's time for sleep to dream of murder.
You know, I know some really good murder stories, so when we get back to town, I'll buy you guys a beer and we can talk murder stories.
Kavan laughs. Ha 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 ha! I can't drink, but I love the tales of battle.
Oh no, you can drink. You can drink the gallons of blood of our enemies.
Gaston puts a note in his little book. Try to find a way to make ghosts drink booze.
All right, so
All right, it is your turn, Tiny Wonder.
All right. Do you want a burrito before bed?
I could go for a nap time burrito.
Nap time burrito.
So the burrito today is steak and Stilton.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Steak and what?
Steak and Stilton. It's like a blue cheese.
Okay.
He's really
All
good.
right.
It's really good.
It is really good.
I'll eat some, and even though I know Kavan can't eat it, I just kind of stuff it inside.
just gotta match it against the... Come on, it's like, ha 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 ha.
Yes, I don't eat alone.
Yeah, Kavan thinks this is really funny. He thinks that's hilarious that you would just sort of mash it into the animated skull on the back of your axe. He thinks that's hilarious.
Nice.
All right, so Boomer, you lay down. Gaston, you take up the watch. Can I get a perception check?
17.
Okay, yeah. So you sort of sit down. You wait for the camp is quiet. Boomer after finishing his burrito and laughing with Kavan for like another 5 minutes about the burrito, like way longer than you would think it would be funny, laughing about how he stuffed the burrito. Like they're still kind of laughing about it.
It's only been half an hour. It's not too bad.
Right, but almost instantly after he stops laughing, you hear snores coming from Boomer and his axe. Which no mean feat for Kavan to snore without a throat or a nose.
Wait, Kevin's snoring too?
Oh yeah,
Huh.
Boomer and his axe are snoring.
That's
Are they
awesome.
going in rhythm?
So Boomer, the axe does the, and then Boomer does a, and the axe.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty. It's adorable. Really, is what it is.
The
all
lighter
right.
side of barbarians.
Sure. And then, so you, Gaston, as you are sort of settling in, listening to everyone sort of settle and get quiet, you notice after a little bit, sort of the sounds of the night return, and you actually can see what looks like a humanoid creature moving around out in the darkness. It's not
Throw a light
coming
rock at it.
You what?
Throw a light rock at it.
So you throw a light rock out there.
I'm subtle. Just letting you know that.
So yeah, you toss a light rock out there. It lands, and just before the creature, it illuminates the creature just before it sort of darts out of the pool of light created by this light rock, and you see what looks like it's definitely undead. You're not sure, like you don't get a good enough glimpse at it to know what sort of undead it is, but it definitely looked undead, and it moved really quick.
Was it moving towards the camp or away from camp?
It looked like it was just sort of circling, like it was, sort of keeping an eye on what was going on. And as soon as you illuminated it, it darted away.
Alrighty then. Pondering.
Hmm.
Well, I'll keep listening to see if I hear it moving around some more. If it's still sticking around and it didn't run away, I think I might wake somebody up. Specifically Skippy.
Wait, sorry, say it again.
I think I'm going to wake somebody up, specifically Skippy.
Okay.
Woo-hoo-hoo. I love being woken up in the night.
I'm going to use a stick because I don't want to get poison goo on me.
That's smart. Now you have a poisonous stick.
Excellent.
Ah.
I'll try to remember to put some on my burrito later to see if it's a good sauce.
Yeah, I was wondering about that actually, whether it's like has any hallucinogenic.
I'll let you know.
Everybody's licking Skippy.
Everyone sees stuff in the night.
You know, that is a whole new meaning for selling your body.
Yeah.
I
Right.
can smell the color red.
Hey man, only 2 licks of the frog, then move on.
Right.
Third
Tell
one's a
Skippy,
charm.
point to the light rock that's however far out and say, hey, I saw some sort of a super fast undead out there. I was wondering if you can go take a look.
Hey, there's something moving around there super fast, undead, probably hungry. You want to go just take a quick look for me?
By
Do
yourself in
drunks
the
have
dark.
dark vision?
Yeah, I lost that red T-shirt around.
Yeah.
So while you're doing that, I'll go ahead and put on my armor.
Down there real quick and just take a
Yeah. Do I have any I don't think I can see in the dark at all. I think I'm pretty useless.
But you're a frog. Don't you have like echolocation or something?
That's a bat.
Some frogs have it too.
I have a bat
Ones that have
familiar.
eaten a bat. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and wake up Felix.
you're like, I'm gonna subcontract this. Well, yeah, I like how Gaston's the one I'd watch, but he's like, well, I gotta stay here and watch, so I'll wake somebody else up to wake them up. And Skippy's like, well, I gotta delegate this task.
I'm gonna borrow the poison stick and like turn it around the other way and hit Felix with it.
Oh, actually, is Fred awake or is Jeff awake?
Yeah.
Hey,
Well,
Jeff, you want to go find the
never
other
really
undead?
goes to sleep. So
Jeff, want to go check out the undead out there? I'll give you some burrito.
Yeah. So Jeff is really enslaved to the will of Felix.
Yeah, note to self, unenslave Jeff at some point, maybe.
Try to free some sort of free Jeff campaign.
This is how
We,
Jeff becomes the main villain of our campaign.
free Jeff. Yeah, you're like, oh no.
You didn't know he was actually a lich under all that. Did you?
Yeah, he like, becomes a full-on bone lord. And just it goes real bad.
Well, considering how quickly and easily he comes back, he would actually be pretty terrifying.
Yeah. He's Jeff is secretly just an extension of Orcus's will. And
Yeah.
He just makes it give the illusion that I'm commanding him.
Right, yeah, he
They're
thinks
all
it's
in the cafeteria
Hence
watching
all
the
the
big screens.
signs.
yeah, he thinks it's funny until he manages to slip he decides to slip the bonds and take revenge on Nico. Turns out you have a really angry death god.
Even though you didn't know it was me, you still insulted me.
Right.
Okay.
Becomes like a really bad version of Beauty and the Beast. Okay. All right. So do you wake up Felix?
Yeah.
You poke me with
Yeah,
the
I
stick?
think I was trying to see if there was anything I had that I could like shoot like an arrow that with some like tie one of your light orbs to it or something so we
I've
can
got
like
quite a few.
You can do that.
Yeah,
Yeah, you can do that.
let's do that. Let's tie one of your light orbs to an arrow and I'll shoot it in the direction that you last saw this undead thing running. See if we can see where it's gone.
Well, my perception check was a 17, so clue-ish. It was really fast.
Yeah. So I mean, it ran almost directly away from you. Like as soon as you threw the rock, it ran almost directly, sort of backwards.
So that way.
Okay.
All right,
I'll
yeah.
like.
So yeah, you tie one of the light rocks to get a little more range.
Yeah, a little like loop, like arching.
Yeah. So yeah, you fire it out there. It sort of thuds down. It lights up. You don't see anything else out there.
Okay.
You can see like when the light rock hits, you can see the reflection of some eyes, but they look like just animals, like wolves and things like that. You would expect to see, and then they sort of they pull back and out of the light.
Yes.
Nothing
wolves
scary
and
looking.
rats. Things you expect to find when you're being spied upon by a vampire.
So
Yeah.
my bat familiar, is Boomer capable of warging and seeing through that familiar's eyes as well?
No, because
Okay.
it's spiritual.
Worth asking.
You can though, can't you?
Yeah, I can see through it, but I'm just wondering if he could as well. So we
No.
could both see and like, oh look.
No, yeah, because when your familiar dies, it just goes. So it's more of a spiritual conjuration than an actual animal.
Okay. So did you actually wake me up though, Skippy?
Yeah.
Okay. So
I'm hitting you with the non-poisonous end of the.
What is it?
You want some burrito?
Eat, right?
Do you poke him in like the bony part of his face?
I start on like the fleshy bit and then like give him a little tap on the bony side.
What is it?
We think we've seen some kind of undead
Super
thing, or at least
fast.
Gaston has.
Super fast undead thingy. If you look out that way where the two light rocks are, it was somewhere over there.
All right, I'll send out my bat familiar and have it search with echolocation and blind sight.
You send out your bat.
Above the tree line, hopefully not to be seen.
All right. Yeah. You send out your bat familiar, and sort of looking through its eyes.
It can only go 100 feet, where I can telepathically see it and hear from it.
Right. So yeah, you sort of send it out, sort of in a circle, and indeed you can't make out a whole lot of detail, but yeah, you think that there are probably five or six of these fast-moving things that don't have much of a heat signature.
Surprise!
That are moving around out in the darkness.
Felix doesn't have much of a heat signature.
No. Sulfur's.
Yeah, he's got that sulfur coming off of him. The sulfur fumes coming off of him.
I smell warm. All right. Appears to be 5 or 6 of them.
But they don't look like they're coming closer or anything. They just look like they're sort of moving around.
Yeah. They seem to be watching us, moving around. Don't look hostile yet.
Can we keep your familiar like going around, or you have to be awake, I guess, to like for him to be flying about?
Yeah, I can keep him up. I'm not too bad if I don't get a full long rest out of this.
Uh-huh.
I think you've had a long rest.
Yeah.
This is the third.
Oh, we did? Okay.
Yeah, we're on third watch. So technically you've had 8 hours of.
Oh, I gained my level 2 spell slot back.
Woo-hoo-hoo.
That's cast
Hey,
mage
so
armor
you
just
want to have your bat
because-
keep an eye on them, make sure they don't come and visit us?
I will watch over everyone, I guess.
All right.
Just super put upon, like.
Was that not direct enough?
All right.
We're all gonna die.
So you sort of keep your minion moving around, and you notice an hour or so before dawn, the pack of these things sort of disperses, and they sort of take off. They take off into the woods.
In the direction we're going.
Yeah.
Awesome. I'll relay to the party. Or the awake members of the party.
Excellent.
Mm-hmm. Did you get any idea of what they are?
Nope.
Just things.
Yeah. Fast-moving humanoid undead.
They were things.
All right, so the sun's starting to come up.
Reach for a wine bottle.
Oh,
Good morning.
How much are you expecting to actually deliver, Nico?
What? There's tons left in the cart. Toss the empty wine bottle back into the nearest hedge or whatever.
Yeah, there's
just left.
There's just a trail of glass, all the way from the ruins of Krezek. There's just sort of a trail of bottles. All right, so
Has his skin started to yellow yet as his liver disease starts to act up?
I don't think. I think any damage that was going to get done has already been done.
What liver?
It's tough to tell because Nico disguises his appearance, and now with the shadow tattoos that he has, and so now you guys.
He's looking a lot better.
Even without the illusion on, the tattoos that are on Nico, they look like now. It just looks like. If you're not looking directly at him, if you're just looking at him sort of out of the corner of your eye, it just looks like he's standing in shadow. It just looks like, even if he's in full daylight, full light, if you're not looking directly at him, everything just looks sort of and it's just sort of these shifting shadows. It looks like he's constantly standing in shadow. But then when you look sort of directly at him, he looks fine, but but it gives you a distinctly uneasy feeling. Because you're
surprising coming from a murderer of innocent children.
What is that?
I don't have any animosity towards him though, right? Looks fine to me.
Yeah, totally cool.
Oh yeah, Felix. Yeah, you're you're well, those in glass houses. You know what I'm saying? But he's just got some shifting shadows. Yeah.
At least half his face didn't melt off. Shit.
Right.
It was instead eaten up by a mimic.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, that's true.
Price of alcoholism.
Speaking of which, hey, Felix, do you want me to try to fix your face?
What's wrong with my face?
Other than the fact that it seems to be rotting off.
What hump? Right.
That's perfect.
Awesome.
It's funny.
Turns out Gaston is also offering Botox injections.
I know you got these you got these worry lines in your. Oh. It's not so much Botox as it is just a rotary tool that he uses.
Yeah.
That'll buff right out.
Yeah, there you go. Put a little bone wax on that. Good, buddy. Okay.
Okay, we've got a delivery to make. Onwards.
What's wrong with my face? All right. So yeah, you guys.
Time to wake up.
So you guys, yeah, you get it. Well, I mean, as soon as Gaston unwraps a burrito and the scent of sort of steak, like suddenly Askern is like, whoa, up and at him.
He's ready. He's ready to eat and then go.
Cheesesteak.
Yeah.
Out of curiosity, Skippy,
Yeah.
could I take some of your slime?
What do you want my
Wow.
slime for?
I'm gonna put it on the
That's a
burrito and
really
see how it
personal
tastes.
question. Jesus.
Wow.
From any place in particular?
Something that you haven't slept on?
Like armpit slime, maybe.
Sure, fine.
Okay. Well, I wouldn't
seen the stuff
necessarily
that comes out of my
recommend it, but
burrito,
you
right?
can. Yeah, you can take. I can just like rub your burrito under my arm.
Like a deodorant stick of burrito.
I was hoping for a slightly smaller amount to start with,
Okay.
just in
you
case
can,
the negative effects are pretty severe.
Yeah, you can. Have you got like a little cup or something else?
Yep, I have several. Small little vial.
Sure, I'll give you a vial of armpit slime.
Perfect.
Nice.
Good measure.
I'll take out a
Left is
paintbrush
best.
and paint my burrito with a little bit of slime and take a bite.
All right. So go ahead and give me a Constitution check.
Natural 20.
Natural 20.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that'd be a 22.
Yeah. So you take a bite of it. It's a little
Pungent.
it's a little funky. Like it's like not gamey, but it's got a musk to it. Like it's got a little
It's
funk
like
on it.
licking a bullfrog.
Well, kind of, but like a bullfrog that's been sleeping rough. Like and so like yeah, I mean it's it's got some stank on it. But stink. It's not bad.
It might improve the flavor of some of the burritos, not this one.
Yeah, it doesn't go particularly well with the steak and Stilton. It doesn't go well. Definitely doesn't pair well with the blue cheese. You think it would probably, if you had something that was a little more acidic, it would probably go really well with that.
I will take some notes. Thank you.
I've got a long lasting supply anytime.
Right. Skippy, how are you hydrating as we're going?
Wine.
All right, so yeah, God, left. Yeah, so Skippy's just kind of lubing up with wine.
Helps with the
that
with the
really
slime
can't be good
flavors
for
too.
Right. So yes,
Can't Gaston create water? Or no?
Can I create water?
It might be an old spell from like.
I think
Technically.
it's
So
a third edition, 3.5.
there is a spell to do that, but you have to have had that. You have to have that spell. I don't know if it's a cleric spell. I know wizards, I think, have one.
Yeah.
Might just
Yeah, I
be
need
water.
a-
second level, second edition spell.
Yeah, I might just be thinking of older editions.
Yeah, I need
Oh,
to
have
keep an
first
eye
level
out.
create or destroy water. I can.
Oh yeah, great.
So if you need me to
Yeah.
memorize that, I can swap out a spell.
It would be awesome if you could, because I need to like lie in water every hour, like for an hour every day or something, isn't it?
Yeah, I can create
24-hour
10
period, you
gallons
gotta-
of clean water at a time.
Yeah, you can. You need to douse your skin.
Yeah.
Just to keep the slime and whatnot going.
All right, let me swap out one of my
So we
spells.
need like a little bathtub with us on our wagon.
Luckily, there's plenty of empty barrels. In the back of that wagon now.
How much water's in urine?
Yes.
Everyone make a ring around Skippy.
Like it's like when a car overheats and you don't have no water to put in the radiator.
Oh God.
Man, that's a really hard. Now I've got a really tough choice of what spell I'm going to stop memorizing. All right, so prayer of healing is gone, folks.
Askern's all. Askern's like, oh, I
Can I
gotta create.
piss
I
on
gotta
Skippy
create water
anyway?
spell. Hold on.
Let me use my magic wand.
Yeah, here you go.
It's surprisingly that's plump too.
Wow. So if you slap it, it has ripples?
Has ripples.
I didn't need to picture that.
Nope. Yeah, good luck sleeping, everybody.
Why don't you make a clay model of that?
Yeah. Yeah, that's what it.
Nope. I'm not making any clay model of that.
That's what's etched into Ascurd's cod piece. It just says it has ripples.
Oh.
Anyway,
you guys are disgusting. So,
That's alive.
all right. So you guys get back up on the road. Skippy, you managed to get yourself
Washed.
properly hydrated. Yeah, properly hydrated in some fashion.
yeah, I'll minor illusion myself. Disguise self to make myself look rugged and handsome again.
You know, I mean, it's a minor effect. It's not.
I'm sitting there
Not
going,
greater
wow,
illusion.
that's a really powerful spell suddenly.
It's a minor effect. I mean, it's it's not. We're not reconstructing.
Kind of pushing that spell to its limits, huh?
Right? Yeah. Suddenly, all the lights in the shadow fell dim just because Nico's having the power of this illusion.
They don't even just dim; they dim like as if like the light is going out. It's like
Yeah. The shadow fell suddenly becomes the dark fell for a little bit, and then kind of comes back up. The hell was that? Oh, Nico just had to rebuild his.
Everyone has to reset their clocks in the Shadowfell.
Right? Yeah. He's blinking 0 because Nico had to go through his beauty regimen.
Yeah, another Nico power outage.
Right. All right. Like, as a patron, they're like, oh, like, what is it calling you to, destructive power? And, no, it's really just to make himself look better. It's taking everything we have to power it.
Maybe he's born with it. Maybe it's the Shadowfell.
Yeah.
Right. All right. So you guys set off again, heading off on the road to Wallachia.
How much wine do we have left?
A lot less than we started with.
Yeah, let's see. Go ahead and roll a d20 for me.
17.
So you've done a fair bit of drinking. You've done a fair bit of drinking on this trip. You've managed to you managed to put away your share and his share and his share. And so you probably got about half left ish.
Yep. That's okay. We topped up on the way, so it's that's pretty.
No, you got half of what you set off from Kresnik.
Oh, yeah, but that's probably about we topped up the original delivery with stuff from Kresnik. So
right. So you have only half of what you topped up with when you left. The wine the total wine you took with you.
Yep.
Half of that left.
Yeah, that's fine. That's good. That's a good amount.
Yeah, and you still got a day to go. All right. Okay. So you guys set off, going along. Nico again is trying to get some drinking songs going.
Yeah.
If I cast Reduce on Nico, will he get drunk quicker?
Possibly. You could just. You could just try to cast it on his liver.
Yeah, he has like cirrhosis of the liver by the time we get to the next town.
Like, oh my God, what happened to you, Nico?
Just all yellow and everything. If you cast
neon
reduce,
yellow.
If you cast Reduce on Nico, he will only be able to drink half as much.
I mean, it's only a minute per spell, so it doesn't do.
Oh yeah.
I'm just saying, if he's chugging,
tell him to pound it as fast as he can. You got 1 minute to drink as much as he wants.
Ooh.
Yeah, you could do that, and then see if he passes out.
I'll polymorph him into a fish and put him in the barrel.
Oh, there you go.
Oh.
Nico's like, yes.
That
Tickle
barrel
Nico.
will be empty.
Yeah, you're like,
I've
how did
seen
he...
heaven.
All right, Nico,
I've seen paradise.
No,
do you accept this polymorph willingly?
Say, what are you doing, Felix?
you enjoy the drink.
So what do you? Yeah, I mean, what do you want a medal for stating the obvious? Like, what is?
Haven't you dreamed of swimming in the wine?
Well, yeah, probably.
Do I suspect that
Well,
there's enough
I guess
oxygen in the wine for him to breathe as a fish?
I'm pretty drunk, so this sounds like a good. Yeah, this sounds like fun.
Seems like a fair. You're like, you know what? 'Cause right now, I got one mouth and two hands. That's a drinking problem. So we need to fix that.
All right. Well, stand over the barrel. Don't want to be messing around with a slippery fish.
All right. So I'll just kind of like flop over the barrel.
Yeah. So Nico attempts to do like a keg stand, essentially. Like, so he's like sort of head up over the barrel. Nico,
I'll help him too.
Oh, you're gonna help him? Okay. Give me a dexterity check. Nico, dexterity acrobatics. It would have been with a disadvantage, but Boomer's helping you out, so you get
Dexterity acrobatics is 19.
19.
Wow.
Yeah. So you actually meant like you sort of like wobble over to it, but then suddenly he performs. And he's like, whoop, like perfect, like sort of. Boomer's like, oh, kind of balances him, and you guys are like, wow, this he can do, like this he can do.
You didn't want to use a point of luck, try and get better.
So he is now vertical over the open wine barrel.
And salmon.
So yeah, morph him into a fish, sploosh into this wine barrel he goes.
Put the lid on the barrel. And
Well, he's only got a
shut.
minute. He needs to come back out.
I don't think he has a minute. He's like already upside down.
It'll be
Like,
fine.
is he drunk or is he dead? We don't know at this point.
That's one of the reason I'm putting the lid on.
Bloop.
Because I'm pretty sure wine is bad for gills.
Yeah, but
Some
how about
oxygen?
1
We
minute?
let it breathe.
It's only 1 minute. It's probably fine.
Yeah,
You can hold your
he's
breath
a big
for 3
fish.
minutes, right?
Well, yeah. So you guys say you're like, oh, is there oxygen? Boomer like grabs, he grabs like a straw, or it's like a blowgun, and he goes, oh, he just blows air into this. So it's just bubbling. It becomes like a sort of a wine hot tub.
Can we communicate with Nico while he's?
These people are insane.
Sounds
Note to
like
self.
what it sounds like now.
Felix can message him technically.
That's true.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a fish though. Like he has fish
Yeah,
spots.
he-
Like
He'll be
he's a fish.
like, back.
Just keep swimming. Just
Just keep swimming. Yeah.
Just keep drinking. Just keep drinking.
All right. So, Nico, go ahead and give me a Constitution check with disadvantage.
What does a fish even have for?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Hold on. Let me look at because your
That is
Constitution
a-
is actually. Hold on. Your Constitution is you're a fish.
oh. Sure.
I
This
see
barrel
this
of wine
going
is
well.
definitely one we have to give to someone else.
Yeah. I'm
Oh, yeah.
Fish
You're gonna
wine.
mark this one.
Don't worry, I know exactly who to give this one to. That's fine.
This vintage, it tastes a little bit fishy.
Your
An
Constitution is
oily
-1.
texture.
So that would be a 5.
Right. So Nico, this fish drops to 0 hit points. It pops back because it had 1 hit point, right? It pops back into Nico. So Nico's sort of like this barrel.
Is he still upside down when he came
Yeah,
in?
well, yeah, it's just legs, just bloop, come up out of this barrel. The legs are not kicking.
Oh, we should
I pulls
Hold
out.
on, Boomer.
probably pull him
So
out.
Boomer sort of, sort of
I
lifts him
start administering dwarven CPR.
Oh,
So you're hitting him with the axe?
Yeah, is that with your axe? Like, how is?
No, like I just start punching him in the chest.
Yes.
Yeah, is that, instead of like compressions and breath, it's just punching and screaming?
Yeah.
It's punching and then breath, but it's like a full on like lips locked like balloon breath.
I'm trying to.
Right.
Poor Nico has no more fucking sternum.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just blow it out. All right, yeah. So, you flop him onto the ground. Give me a medicine check, Boomer.
All right, because I have great points in that.
I'll give Nico his own type of CPR and see what he's got in his pockets.
So Felix, you're helping out.
Not horrible. 12.
12.
Oh.
All right, yeah. So you managed to sort of. He does not regain consciousness. He's still like super unconscious, but he is breathing again. Nico, this is the drunkest you've ever been. Like you're fish drunk.
Yeah.
So I don't like. I mean, I'm not sure where that is on the scale. Like you probably have to measure it with a log system because you are like hammered ass drunk.
Blood alcohol level is 0.5.
I'm gonna grab Felix because he's obviously next to me. I'm gonna grab Felix like by the face and then kiss him.
Oh yeah, so not conscious.
Oh,
This is like
This is
Nico
all
is not rolling.
mammalian brain.
Yeah, Nico is rolling blank tape at this point. So, but yeah, just he reaches up and you give him a kiss on his like weird desiccated.
yeah.
Like you kiss him on the teeth.
I'll just give him a sandpaper tongue licking.
Felix, you managed.
This is okay.
Let me look at. Let me see. What did you have? Nico?
Oh, well, Nico's out. Can I go and get that scroll that you took that I found?
Yeah, he's unconscious. Go nuts.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna take that. I'm gonna go take that.
No one's
scroll.
gonna stop you.
It's got my name on it.
No one's gonna stop. No one's like, yeah. Well, I mean, you see, someone does the obligatory no. Well,
Is
Actually,
is Azkern cool with people going through the pockets of an unconscious person?
I'm
We'll make it.
as
pickpocketing
long as
you.
it's you.
At this point, at this point, I have no idea what to think about this group at the moment, and the only one I trust is Gaston and Boomer. So like, I'm just
if this is what we do, I guess if this is how
Just
you.
standing there.
Yeah, well, I mean, could Boomer just like start talking to Askert about like the mountain ridges and being like, oh yes, look over here.
Yeah. What?
Yes, you can tell that these are really good mountains. Because reasons.
if in all honesty, if Gaston just gives me another burrito, I'm pretty occupied.
Yeah, you're
Gaston
just
will
like,
give him another burrito.
yeah. Gaston just slices him off. Another thing just goes, look, man, just eat your feelings, okay?
Well,
like don't.
Eat your feelings and let's talk about that steak.
Yeah.
Our plans for fixing it up.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. So Nico has 200 platinum, 1,000 gold, 1,800 electrum. That
doesn't?
scroll.
Yeah. I
What do
want
you
the scroll.
I'm reverse pickpocketing him. I'm putting the Strahd's tome back in his pocket.
Oh, you're putting wow. Jesus. Like, are you sure you don't want to just take money? Like,
It's kind of a game at this point.
right.
Veto.
One with massive stakes. Okay, so all right. So you guys you take the scroll.
Yeah.
Skippy.
Yeah. I might make it look like I'm trying to rub some herbs or something on him. But like
Some grung poison on him. Wake up!
I put my gloves on.
I'm helping.
Yeah, all right. So yeah, you take the spell scroll back and then make it look like you're marinating him.
Yeah.
Like
The poisonous frog
Yeah.
is
Yeah, you guys
putting
like
gloves
Jesus.
on not for his protection, but for her protection.
right.
Yeah. Whatever's good.
All right. So yeah, you take the scroll back from him. You Felix put the Tome of Strahd like, ooh, let's go ahead and get rid of this. Don't need that ticking time bomb. You put pocket him. Anybody else want to give Nico a go through?
Did I see Skippy pull the scroll while going?
Skippy, were you trying to be subtle about this?
No.
No. Yeah, you saw her take it.
Yeah.
Okay. Might I take a look at that first?
I would actually quite like you to have a look at it because I don't know what it says. So
Right.
I just know I found it and that he took it. So
Well, why did he have it if you found it?
because I thought that he was going to be able to read it, but instead he just put it in his pocket. So, and at that point, I thought it was not a good time to start arguing about it, but now seems a much better time.
You know, he's unconscious and can't argue back.
Yeah, exactly.
Fist drunk.
That was a great time to do this.
How I have the most sex with my wife.
What was that? What was that a scroll of?
We didn't find, I don't know.
Oh,
No one read it.
Where did you find it?
It was in the wine, like in the abbot, in the one of the wine
That's right.
bottles.
Yeah, that's right. So it was a scroll. So yeah, Felix, you take a look at it. Give me an Arcana check with advantage.
That'll be a 20.
Yeah. So this is a spell scroll of Hero's Feast.
Of
Oh,
what?
So
Hero's Feast.
As a 6th level spell. You bring forth a great feast, including magnificent food and drink. The feast takes 1 hour to consume and disappears at the end of that time. And the beneficial effects don't set in until this hour is over. Up to 12 creatures can partake of the feast. A creature that partakes of the feast gains several benefits. The creature is cured of all disease and poison, becomes immune to poison and being frightened, and makes all wisdom saving throws with advantage.
Wow.
Its hit point maximum
Nice.
also increases by 2d10, and it gains the same number of hit points. These benefits last for 24 hours.
Wow.
But who can cast these spells? If it was not a scroll?
Say it again.
What classes can cast this?
I
believe clerics can.
Spell list. You can read the spell scroll and cast it. I cast a spell without providing material components. Otherwise, the scroll is unintelligible. Yeah, so I think you can cast it, Felix. Let me see.
Well, I was just wondering if I could wait till I get 6th level spell slot and copy it into my spell book.
Yeah, you can do that.
Okay.
Let's see. These minutes last for 24. Yeah, it is. Oh no, it's only available for clerics and druids. Sorry, Felix. Actually, you can't read it.
Yeah, that's what I thought. It was only a cleric spell.
It's clerics and druids. So actually, you can't.
I know a cleric or druid needs to read it, right?
Yeah.
I would know that.
Yeah, you look at this and you go, ooh, this is written in, and I'm mostly so not my thing.
All right, I'll take it over to Gaston and say, I think I found something for you.
Thanks, Skippy.
Pull out a pair of tweezers and collect it from him.
Yeah, so Gaston, you take it. And yes, this is a scroll of Hero's Feast, and you could cast this.
All right, let me just
Cool.
stick it in my equipment here.
Yeah, so you would.
Poor Skippy got that stolen too.
Yeah, I'm just gonna give up.
No good to you. It's a piece of paper.
Yeah.
Are you gonna roll a joint with it or
I
something?
could eat it.
Hey, the day we plan on attacking Strahd, I'll go ahead and we'll have a really good meal before we
That sounds
send off.
fabulous.
Sort of a last supper, if you will.
Yes.
So yeah,
But
so
there's only
because-
6 of us instead of 12.
So there's so it's a 6th level spell, and so because it's higher than what you can cast normally, to cast it, the DC is 10 plus the spell's level.
Ooh.
So DC 16?
Yeah.
Wisdom, I'm assuming?
Yes.
Okay. I have a 50-50 shot.
Yeah.
If you fail it, does the scroll like disappear, or is it just?
Yeah, it just goes. So Felix, just for future reference, you can copy it even if it's not at your level, and it's an Arcana check, DC 10 plus the spell's level.
Oh, okay. So I can have it in my
copy
book.
Yeah, you can copy it into your book even if it's above your level.
But it still has to be a wizard spell, right?
It has to be a wizard spell, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and then if you fail, it's destroyed. If it succeeds, it's also destroyed. But it goes.
You know, you could always get a level of cleric, a level of druid, a level of bard, and be able to cast.
The narrator says you can't get a level of cleric.
I have the acolyte background.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you could get a level of cleric, but you know the gods they hang out in the shadier portion of the pantheon. All right, so Nico is now passed out in the back of the wagon, having done his fish trick in the wine.
Yep.
That wine is now thoroughly gross.
Hey, you made me full.
Yeah, and every now and
And on
again,
that barrel, Nico's special wine.
right?
No, I made myself.
Call that the shadow vintage. Gross. All right, so
We'll
you
pay
guys
you a gold if you drink it.
yeah. So you guys carry on. You carry on until the following day, or until the end of the day. As the sun begins to set, you can now see the walls of Wallachia ahead of you.
Did you stop?
And you approach the main gate. It looks like the guards are beginning to close the gate for the night, but you manage to get their attention before they close and lock it.
We have wine.
The gate immediately swings open. The gate immediately swings back open. And
On the way through, it tastes like fish.
and
Good fish.
one of the guards calls back and goes, "But did it get the fish drunk?"
Oh, yeah.
Very.
Right, and they go, "Fine." And so you pick up a little bit of a parade
So,
as you begin to like go through town, like this wine, this wine wagon that you have.
Am I conscious now? I guess it's gonna
Give me another Constitution. Give me another Constitution check.
This time with not a fish con.
Right.
8.
someone with a stick.
8. You are still passed out. Like you are still passed out. So quick question. Nico may or may not be vomiting. He is vomiting. Do you guys have him like on his side or hanging out of the back of the wagon or?
He's not vomiting on the wagon, so yeah, he's gonna be hanged over.
Yeah,
like,
he's
Face
probably
down, hanging over the wagon, the back,
Yeah.
just kind of
Just
baby necking.
dangling from the back of the wagon. head kind of bumping against the buckboard every now
Yeah,
and then.
right before we get into town, I'll do a create water on him just to
Just to
the
down,
acid rank out.
yeah, just to rinse the wine off.
Nice.
All right, give me another Constitution check with advantage, Nico, as you're being sprayed with water.
Oh, that is 18.
All right, yeah. So you managed to come to as the water is Gaston sort of sprays you with this water. Gaston, are you being? Is it like you could do a gallon, right?
10.
10 gallons.
Oh, nice.
Do the entire 10 gallons, like just at once.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
At once.
like not gently. It's just 10 gallons of water appears above Nico and then just.
Oh, great. Oh, great trip. We should do this again.
How's the hangover?
What? I don't understand. I'm fine.
He's still technically drunk. He's just conscious now.
He needs a kebab.
Yeah. Normally it takes 15 minutes to cook, but for you, my friend, 10.
You went for 10 minutes.
I'll be that friend that's helping Nico out, like holding his hair.
Holding his hair.
It's going to be okay. It's going to be all right.
Right. Yeah. Holding his, telling him that, no, you didn't embarrass everyone. You're fine.
No, it's good. We should get a meal in you.
Yeah.
A meal? Fantastic.
about
So
some
you
salmon?
guys, so yeah, so he's like, you know what? I can go for some fish. Like I don't know why. Like God, I can just really. So you guys go. You guys, I'm presuming you come up to the Blue Water Inn.
Yeah.
That's where you deliver the wine, right?
Yeah.
Right. So you come to the Blue Water Inn. You don't have to unload the cart. The parade of people you've picked up that come with you. Although they pick up some of the empties, and they're like, why? What happened to the?
Poor
What happened to the wine?
Poor
No.
workmanship on the barrels. You know how
What's
it is.
up?
Poor workmanship on the barrels.
Oh, you say drunkenly, poorly made barrels. He knows what happens to the wine. Anyway,
we had to save it.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that as I like stagger off and then stagger into like go and hammer on the door, like just kick open the door of the inn.
Right. Yeah, well, so you managed to stagger over, like you missed the door by a little bit, and you're just like pounding on the port post. Like,
Open up!
why won't this door open?
I'll mage hand the door.
So you managed to you finally the people like carrying the wine bottles and barrels and stuff, they kind of like go, oh, don't worry about it, Duke Nico, and they kind of gently push you over towards the door. They kind of, oh, look at him, he's the guy.
Put him on a bench against the wall in the corner so he can't fall over as easily.
Right. So they everybody sort of parades inside, and inside.
Climb up on the bar.
Did you say, can I climb up on the bar?
No Coyote Ugly here.
Give me a dexterity check with advantage.
I would be trying to stop that.
Was that with advantage or disadvantage?
Disadvantage.
Disadvantage.
Boomer, you're trying to stop him?
Yes.
Give me a grapple check versus this.
Yes,
Give me a grapple check versus this this acrobatics check. So this will be strength.
But I have grappler. I have advantage.
Yeah.
I got a 9.
That's a 24.
Right. Yeah. So he's doing that thing where he's like, I lead the people, and he's like trying to climb up onto the bar, but he's doing that thing where he's trying to step and just missing, just keeps going like that, and you're like, oh, okay, buddy, and you just gotta get a firm clamp on him. You're like, okay, here we go.
You're good. You're good.
Tell them the people, they'll be happy. They'll be happy.
No, they know. It's good.
Drink, Boomer, drink.
You already told them.
Drink.
Yeah.
Celebrate.
Yeah.
You need to celebrate.
We are celebrating. You've already been drinking.
I haven't had a drop all day.
You've had all the drops of all day.
So Erwin and Danica sort of, they meet you, and they're like, did it! You brought back the wine!
The wine flows again!
Okay.
Like Nico throws his arms back like that. You have to keep him from falling over. You gotta push him back upright.
He's really excited.
So Erwin puts a goblet of wine in your hand, Nico.
Yeah.
Wine's coming out. They're putting the barrels in. Everybody's pretty excited. The room's pretty full. Some musicians come in. They start up playing.
Yeah. Now it's a party. Yeah.
Thank you for that, Erwin, whoever you are.
And Erwin is like, well, he likes a drink. We're celebrating. He seems all right.
Get Boomer a drink, Owen. This man is a hero. They're all
Yeah.
So this is happening. Like Erwin, you were talking, and Nico is just that thing where he's just swooping in every now and again. And then he just sort of stumbles off back into the party, and then stumbles out of the crowd.
I feel like I lost him now. Blame Erwin.
Yeah, and people, and so people have got, they're getting, pitchers of wine are coming out and they're being passed around everyone because, the town's been dry for a while now. And so people are looking for some relief, as it were.
Yeah, it's gonna be dry again real soon.
How does the fish wine go over?
Turns out, so people kind of, they drink it and they look like they kind of look at the glass, but then they kind of look around and they see how much drinking is going on and they sort of know how much is wagon and they're like, oh well, what are you gonna do? And they kind of just sort of close their eyes, kind of screw their eyes shut and just back as fast as they can and try not to taste it.
You got to piss with the cock you got.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the situation they're in.
Excellent.
That
First
statement's
kinda
not
like,
true for even half the population.
What's up?
Boop, boop, boop.
Ryan's statement's not
Boomer
true for
is
even
like-
half the population.
Well,
Yeah.
Depends on how you
Boomer
interpret it.
is
yeah, depends how you interpret it.
Boomer is like, well, all right, well, you can't beat them, then join them, and I'm going to down the rest of the Goliath alcohol. Just down all of it.
Yeah. So you're going for it, as they say.
Yep. I'm like, I'm going to show these amateurs how it's done.
Right. All right. Yeah. So you're pounding it back. Everybody's partying. What are Skippy, Felix, Askern, and Gaston up to?
I'm gonna try and
Skippy's
talk to
joining.
Erwin.
Gaston is keeping his head about him and making sure he's got his create water in case somebody does something stupid with fire, considering how drunk these people are.
Right. Smart.
Skippy asks Gaston if he can create some water in a barrel and just go and just have a little in the
Have a
corner, chill, yeah, like little soak and
Just have a
just
yeah.
chill
So
out.
yeah. You
Like-
grab
like-
one of the empty wine barrels.
Mhm.
Do you want it as a jacuzzi? Because I can light a fire under it.
Oh, maybe no. I think I'll.
We don't want to confuse us with making dinner for everyone.
That's it. A room full of drunken people and a nicely.
Why you keep adding
Boiled
things to my
frog.
path?
Yeah. Askern's like, oh, some soup.
as I slowly
Carrots up.
make it hotter.
cutting carrots up and stuff in it. He's like, right.
It's good for
Salt,
the skin.
pepper.
It's nutrients for the skin.
No, this is special bathing. The aromatics really help with the flavor, so don't worry about it.
It's already basically like dusk, right?
Yeah. It's getting towards the sun was setting as you guys arrived into town.
Yeah. Well,
And is like the Smith shop and all that stuff is closed down.
Yeah, considering there's a big dude with an apron that's already pretty hammered over in the corner. Yeah, the Smith shop is. I mean, it's there, but it's closed.
Okay. And that's something to do in the morning.
All right.
I'll chat with Erwin.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
actually- Yeah, actually, we'll chat with Boomer since Boomer says he knows how to do this stuff as well. We just need the tools.
You guys gonna break into the Smith shop in the middle of the night, hammered drunk?
No.
Boomer's been drinking.
Let's do some smithing.
I don't think he'd be opposed to it though.
I'm totally cool with fire. I'm sober.
Yeah,
all right.
what do you say to Boomer?
Oh no, just basically like in the morning. I'm gonna need your assistance on the stake.
Oh, it's in the morning?
In the morning, yeah, we're not gonna do that right now. Everyone's partying.
We're keeping the vampires away by partying.
Right.
Yeah. So speaking of which, the burgomaster shows up. As you guys sort of mid celebration. Skippy's in a barrel over in the corner. People every now and again come over and like pour wine on you.
Yes.
Sort of, yeah, like they're like, you ingested your skin, right? There you go. And so, yeah,
I imagine I have Nico on my shoulders, and I'm just like
Eventually, it's Eventually, you guys become that guy at the party.
Yeah.
The equivalent to a lampshade on your head, like just going around. But
The
everybody's
totem pole.
Where did he get a traffic cone?
right. Like, everybody's super into it though.
we are the totem pole.
Felix, you managed to pull Erwin aside, after he had gotten a bunch of wine pitchers sort of, lined up on the bar.
Yeah.
All right, I'll try and ask him, like, has anything happened since we've been gone of note?
He goes, well, the burgomaster is, he's still dead set on this Festival of the Sun thing. It's supposed to start tomorrow. Nobody cares. I don't know how he's going to react to all of this. He wants to be the guy in charge of happiness, so I don't know.
Would he not approve of this?
I don't know. I mean, he keeps telling us that, we got to, all will be well and we got to smile and celebrate. But it seems that the only celebrating he usually wants done is, state-sanctioned celebrations. So I don't know. I don't know how he'll interpret this.
Is there someone else that might replace him as the burgomaster?
Well, there's the Lady Wachter, who
the Wachter family.
right. She's had her eye on ruling this town for some time. She's just been waiting for the right moment to overthrow the burgomaster.
Oh God, yeah. What was going on with those? Was it those guys?
The frat boys that tried to hang with you, right? They were drinking.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then didn't they have something to do with the vampire spawn in that house as well? I can't remember now.
So you guys found vampire. You guys found vampire spawn in the coffin maker's shop.
Yeah.
Unknown what the connection was. The guy just said that a noble showed up.
That's right. Yeah.
Paid him money.
That's right.
To store these crates in his attic.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. Inside check
mysterious circumstances.
on Erwin on having someone up the Wachter lady in charge.
What are you checking for? Oh, to see if what he's telling you about the Wachters is.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
That's 20.
Yeah, so it's fairly common knowledge that Lady Wachter has had her eye on that, and her sort of good-for-nothing sons that are about, which they're here. They're currently here they're at part of the party.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty common knowledge that she and the burgomaster are not best friends, and that she definitely thinks that she should be in charge of the town.
Okay. Do I think that the children will have any type of power in the near future with this move if we put her in charge?
Her kids?
Yeah.
Not in the near future. I mean, the lady's she's not that old.
Okay.
So
that'd be like, oh yeah, they're now in charge of the city because mom's just a figurehead. And
no. This lady is like she's like a legit figure in the power structure of this village or this town.
So she's a big wig, not a streetwalker.
Yeah. And
is she at the party?
She is not at the party.
Okay.
But her sons are.
All right, I'll see if I can get an address or somewhere to go to meet up with her.
Oh yeah, so
Erwin.
Yeah, he tells you. I mean, everyone knows where her mansion is in town.
Okay.
Like, yeah, he tells you. He's like, oh yeah, it's at the. Let's see, east. I think that's her.
It's the big house on Big Mansion Street.
He says, yeah, it's. Oh, north. Sorry, it's north of the inn. Like the big. He's like, yeah. He tells you it's the largest house. Like if you walk north, you can't miss it. It's the second largest house in the town, only to that of the burgomaster.
All right. And then last question, I'll ask him if he's heard from the bard, Rick Tavio.
And he says, no, his wagon is still in the stockyard as far as I know, but he hasn't returned. I've had to rent his room out. We've had other musicians come in. He sort of gestures over to the guys that are playing over in the corner. He's like, I haven't heard from him at all.
Anything odd in his room when you cleared it out? Or worth of note?
No. Sort of the usual things that you would find in a bard's room, spare lute strings, bits of parchment with some lyrics or some such a poem or something written on it.
Okay.
Nothing really outstanding.
All right. I'll try and slink out of the party towards.
So, but right before you go, he goes.
Conversation while Boomer and Nico staggering
Yeah,
around.
just woo! But right before you go, he goes, "Oh, there was a woman, a young woman who was asking after him. I assume she was some sort of maybe fan or lover or something. But she was asking some really pointed questions about him, about where he was and where he'd gone.
How was her
Did
complexion?
she have funny looking legs?
No, she had dark skin, and she looked, well, how to put this, dangerous. Like she moved like she knew, she moved like she could handle herself. You know.
Good to know. Thanks for the tip.
Yeah, didn't catch her name. Now that I think of it, I don't think she offered it. But yeah, she was asking some questions. She was here a day ago, maybe 2. And at this point, Boomer and Nico, stagger into the bar. More. He's like, "Oh, excuse me," and he goes back to sort of filling up pitchers and whatnot.
Okay.
All right. So at this point, the burgomaster comes into the inn, into the Blue Water Inn. You see this man come in with very nice furs. He has a chain or the emblem of office around his neck. He comes in, and you see him sort of look around, and he frowns for an instant. But then you see him plaster this like very forced smile on his face. And he's kind of like, "Yay! Look, we're all like, oh, good, we're celebrating, yay!" And he walks and he sees you, Boomer and Nico, sort of cavorting about. You guys are, Boomer's like at this point, Boomer is now like tossing you up into the air and like, he's like, yeah. Nico's like, woo! And catching you, and he's sort of looking, and obviously the crowd you guys are sort of the focal point of this, this party. You guys are, leading the crowd in the songs. The lyrics aren't always correct or coherent, but everybody is, more or less sort of yelling along with the band that's playing.
Can, as I'm like tossing Nico up in the air, can I be singing like an old dwarvish song about the dwarf who invented ale?
Oh yeah. You're, you yell at the band to play this song, and you yell it in dwarvish, and the band the band kind of like, and then you like kind of glare at them, and they're like, ugh, they just start playing. It's not the song, but you go, "Oh, that's it," and you just start.
Awesome.
And you're, singing, this rousing, and it's in dwarvish, like it's not in common, like it's in dwarvish, but the crowd still sings along. Like
like sing along as well.
It's that deal where it's like, it's the chorus,
Yeah.
And you sort of, yell it at them. They don't know what they're saying, but they're doing the call and response correctly.
Like trying to sing along to like Gangnam Style or something.
Right. So, you sing, you're singing the verse and then they come in with the chorus. It's a rousing song. Like it's a Dwarven song. So it's a good drinking song, right? Like it's solid. The Burgomaster, Felix, you two obviously don't notice the Burgomaster. Felix, you notice the Burgomaster come in and sort of plaster this smile on. He comes over to Danica, who is sort of serving, and he leans over to her, and you see him sort of ask a question in her ear, and she kind of goes, she sort of gestures to the crowd like that's yelling this dwarven drinking song. And he leans closer and he has to speak a little bit louder. Give me a perception check to see if you can pick up what he says.
21.
Yeah.
Hey.
So you hear him. He goes, Who is it that's leading the people? Who started this celebration? I have not authorized this. The festival of the burning sun doesn't start until tomorrow. And you see Danica, like she kind of like looks at him like, kind of a like, and then she gestures at the two dudes leading the song, and she's like kind of a no shit thing, like, and she's like, and you could see her mouth go Duke Nico,
Yeah.
and Mountain Lord Boomer, right? And she's pointing at the two of them, and he goes, and you see his mouth go Duke. Lord. And you see this like dark look come over his face as he like sort of gazes at Boomer and Nico, and then he sees the two the two Bumble brothers, the Walker ones, they're over there partying up with him and everything. And Nico keeps drinking. He drinks everything out of his cup and then yells, "Have a drink," and hands it to one of the Bumble brothers. And they like go like, they throw it back and there's nothing in it. And Nico laughs like every time. It's hilarious. Every time. And you see, the guy sort of takes all this in. He's got sort of a really dark look on his face. And then he leaves.
I'll follow him.
Okay, you're going to follow him out into the...
I'm going to try and be stealthy and tail him.
Because you're a cat.
With the
Kill him
use of
now
my
before he gains
familiar.
his allies.
What, say it again, Gaston?
I said, might as well go and kill him now before he goes and sets up the trap for us.
Oh, I'll also message Gaston and kind of tell him, like, I'm going to follow him. Are you coming?
No, they're juggling fire.
Okay.
Yeah, Gaston is like ready, just like his hands, like, that water spell is just like his hands are just dripping wet. Like he's just like, come on, who's gonna come on? All right, so Skippy, are you gonna follow Felix out as well, or are you gonna stay with the party?
I don't think Skippy really noticed what's going on. He's kind of enjoying the barrel and
right,
like the wine,
croaking along to the song.
Yeah.
Askern, what are you doing?
I'm guessing there's food here, so that's what I'm doing.
Yeah, food's coming out. Wolf steaks are back on the menu.
Delicious.
Yeah.
Hey,
all right.
Felix, remember, don't split up the party.
I've already done that.
So Felix, give me a stealth check.
Hey.
Oh, all right. That was a 19 plus 6 for 25.
Nice. Yeah. So you step outside into the dark. It's nighttime, and you trail the Burgomaster, and he, So he heads south. He heads south out of the inn, and he sort of goes, heads south, goes across town. He makes a quick stop at what looks like a garrison. You would think for sort of the local town guards.
Mm-hmm.
He knocks on the door. Nothing happens. He knocks on the door again. Nothing happens. Eventually, he pounds on the door and he yells for the guard captain. Eventually, the door creaks open and you see a guy who's sort of weaving. You can only see a silhouette, but that silhouette is sort of weaving back and forth. And the burgomaster has some very low but you can't quite make out what he's saying, but you can definitely make out the tone. It is not happy. You see the captain like attempt to sort of like straighten up, but he's still kind of weaving back and forth, and he kind of like goes, "Oh yeah," you hear him sort of make sounds of assent, but the burgomaster makes makes a disgusted noise, and then heads off again, like leaves, and the guard captain as the burgomaster turns and leaves. You see the guard captain kind of lean out and kind of, give him one of these and kind of go back in. And then you hear the distinct noises of a party starting back up inside. Like you hear, is it still daylight where you're at, Deb?
Oh, yeah. It's just 5 to 11 in the evening.
Welcome to being very north.
and it's no longer snowing, and I was in like shorts and t-shirt today, so that just
the magnetosphere fixed itself.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. Everything should be fine.
It's actually, you can like see, maybe can you see? It's like
so does the sun set there?
It's currently setting. You can see it's like that's the.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll keep giving you updates on it.
I mean, is it setting or is it like it's?
It does.
Or,
at the moment, it still kind of sets.
I mean, are you going to eat lunch 21 times over the next week?
Something like that.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know anymore.
Yeah. I mean, how long is nighttime there?
Now I guess it's like.
No.
I think it's like 3 hours, 4 hours. It changes so fast as well. Because like 2 weeks ago it was.
What?
So I mean, what's the shortest night that you guys get? Like
maybe like 4 hours. Like from 10, maybe even less. Maybe like 11, 12, maybe 12 till 3 or something like that. We'll see. I haven't stayed up like to see if it actually gets dark now. So we'll see today.
The sun's just gonna like just dip a bit and then come back up.
Yeah.
That
It's
sounds,
great. It really messes with you. It's fun.
That sounds neat. Good. Okay. Anyway, yeah. So he leaves. You can hear clearly the people, the guys in this garrison requisitioned wine from the cart and just took it over here, like very clearly. So the burgomaster continues south to a large estate. Do
I think everyone's at the party?
You're pretty sure that probably like 90% of the town is either at this party or they requisition some of that wine and are having their own party. You're like, just given sort of the sounds and some of the stuff as you're sort of walking along, you're not super sure if anyone's going to be sober tomorrow. Like, and if anyone had any like reserves they were waiting for, they're breaking them out now that they know the wine's flowing again.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I'll try and keep sneaking behind the burgomaster.
Okay, yeah. So you keep going along. He finally comes to this large mansion. You see him as he goes in. He snaps something at the guards that are at on the ground. You don't quite catch it, but it's he's in a very curt voice. He snaps something at them, and you see him sort of straighten up. And then he they sort of like salute. He passes by, and then you see him like take a quick swig of something that they had, and he walks inside his manor and slams the door behind him.
Okay. Is there a chimney?
There is a chimney.
Okay, old Saint Nick's gonna pay him a visit.
All right.
I'll polymorph into a crow and fly in through the chimney.
Okay. Okay, so out of game here, what are you planning to do? So there's a map for this. I can make it up really quick, but
I was gonna kill him.
Oh, snap. I was joking.
we're just doing straight up murder now.
I mean,
all right.
it puts me in a position of power to like leverage to the Wachter lady, saying I've created this power vacuum for you.
Well, surely you want to tell her that. You want to offer that before you kill him, because otherwise she'll just take it, right?
Or I take it.
Yeah.
As I hold the Burgomaster's head. I am the Burgomaster now.
Right, yeah, just go, there could be only one.
Not see it that way.
Well, depending on what he says when I approach him, we'll see how it goes.
Party is
McLeod.
evolving.
But I may kill him.
All right. So that's
You know you want to.
Felix does.
Sacrifice his soul to one of
He
your...
hasn't killed a human in quite a while.
Sacrifice the guy's soul to one of your powers to get an extra charge.
all right. So you yeah, okay. So you you fly down the chimney.
I'm assuming there's no fire. If there is a fire, I probably won't do that.
No, there's no fire. There's no fire lit. All of the wood, like you don't think that anyone actually anywhere in this village, even though the night is still pretty cold and rainy, it looks like, so in the village square sort of out in front of the inn and everything, there was a bunch of wood stacked up for this blazing wood festival. Like you don't think anyone in town like has a fire. Like you think all of the wood has been requisitioned for this festival that he's going to have.
Okay.
All right. So yeah, you fly down the thing. Give me a stealth check. Give me a crow stealth check.
Oh, what's a crow for Dex?
Let me see.
Pretty good, I think.
200.
Oh, look at that.
Well, let's see what the D20 is. It's a 15 plus.
Yeah, that's good enough. Deep crow, ancient deep crow.
You've been running well today.
Yeah, so
I know.
So you're fine. You zoom down. You kind of come down the chimney. You come down sort of stealthily. You look inside, like you can see the kitchen staff is sort of moving around the kitchen.
Oh, there's staff. Okay, that's gonna change things.
They're bustling around the kitchen. Looks like they're either preparing something or cleaning something up. As a crow, a little difficult to tell.
Yeah. Okay, so I'll wait out my polymorph time.
Oh, you're not going to try to like fly out of the kitchen or anything?
I don't know. I don't know if I have the intelligence to really do that instead of just get inside the building.
Crows are super
Crows
smart.
are smart, dude.
Crows are super smart. Yeah, crows are super smart.
And they like shiny stuff.
Do I think I could get by the guards? Does
The
the crow
kitchen
think-
staff?
Yeah.
Yeah, you think, I mean, they're definitely like, they're intent on some tasks. You think that
Okay.
you could probably like, with some careful movement, crows also, they avoid predators and whatnot. So, when, the two forward facing eyes are looking at you not to move, type of thing. And so right now you're hidden in the fireplace. It's black. You're black. Like, no one's noticing you. But yeah, there's definitely, as they're sort of going about their business, and you can see them going, opening doors and whatnot, sort of going in and out of the kitchen.
The hell are they cooking without fire?
What's up?
What the hell are they cooking without fire?
Yeah, so you don't know if they're just cleaning up or if they're just sort of like chopping up stuff. You're not sure exactly what they're doing. And you notice that one of the doors that they open, you can hear the burgomaster's voice louder when they open that door.
Okay. I'll kind of just see where I can sneak in for a bit and find out where.
So yeah, you notice a window. Give me a stealth check with advantage, since nobody knows you're here.
First 20 is an 11. Second
I
one
look for crows in the
is
house
a
all the
12.
time. You look for crows for how in your house, just constantly on the watch for crows. Like
I'm always on the lookout for crows.
Just looking for crows. Like nothing else, just crows. Yeah, so that's enough to get by the sort of these, distracted people that are, it's the end of their day too, and they hear there's a massive party that they're not involved in, so they're not like particularly keen to protect the dude's house. So you manage to get by him, and you sort of fly into this. It looks like sort of this long hallway, and it's mostly empty. But you can hear the burgomaster sort of at the end of the hallway.
Okay. Does it look like he's going to bed anytime soon?
You can't see him, but you can only hear him. You kind of fly down to the end of the hallway. And you can see there's some stairs, like he's sort of in the foyer and he's yelling at one of the servants that he has. He's like, throwing like his cloak and stuff at him. And he's starting to head upstairs.
Okay. I'll try my best to be unavoided.
So yeah, the servant guy leaves. There's no one around. He heads upstairs. Do you want to follow him upstairs?
Yep.
As the crow goes. So you follow him. Yeah, you follow him upstairs, and you're sort of like, you sort of flap, and then you like perch up on the crown molding or something like that, and you kind of be real still, and then you kind of fly around. Eventually, he comes upstairs. You see there's a woman that he meets. They bump faces. You're not sure what that's about. Kind of weird. Human thing, you suppose. He says something, he says something to her. She says something back. He says something. Their voices are getting a little more agitated each time. Eventually, she just kind of throws her arms up and makes a noise, and then she walks off. And then he walks into a room.
Mating ritual fail.
And leaves the door open.
Okay.
When he walks in, do you follow him in?
Yeah, sure.
So yeah, you sort of you kind of sort of do a little crow hop, on the ground, kind of peek through the door a little bit. Looks like he's sitting down behind a desk, and he's in a room that has like these bookshelves. Looks like a study or a library or something.
Okay. Do I think I could get? Is it like an inward or outward facing door where I could get behind the door?
The door opens.
Or I guess under the bed, if that's.
There's no bed.
Oh, it's a study. Okay.
Yeah, it's a study. Yeah. The door opens into the study.
I'll go behind the door, and then up to you if I can break concentration or not.
All right, give me a stealth check.
All right.
You're coming in.
Oh no, 7.
So yeah, you come in, but the desk is sort of facing the door, and as you sort of flap in, he goes, oh, and now these winged vermin. Now and he says, probably a spy for that filthy Strahd. And he sort of gets up out of his desk. And you hear him going. He starts like kind of flapping towards you, going shoo, shoo. And
I'll go back into the hallway, I guess.
Oh, you kind of caw at him and just sort of flap into the hallway. So he follows you out into the hallway, and he's like sort of like shooing you towards there's some windows at the end of the hall.
Okay. Shit. I'll go towards the windows, I guess.
So you're kind of hopping and cawing at him, Eventually, he gets you to the to one of the windows, and he kind of opens it and sort of boots you out.
Okay. Is there another open window nearby? I get to swing back in.
I have a question.
Yeah.
If he crow chalks and then polymorphs back into human, what happens to the crow chalk?
If he what?
If he poops as a crow, what happens when he turns back to human? Does it stay crow poop, or does it go human poop?
Stays crow poop.
Okay.
Once
I
it-
shit on
turns into a big fucking cat-sized shit. He's like, what the? What kind of magic shit is this? Fucking fecal-mancer.
Damn
It
you,
wouldn't be out of
Strahd.
character.
All right, so go ahead and do you want to do like sort of a little fly around? How long does polymorph last?
1 hour.
1 hour. Yeah, so you want to do a little fly around the house to see if you can.
Yeah, I figured this has been, what, 15, 20 minutes max,
Yeah.
maybe?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'll see if I can find another window in.
So yeah, you flap around, you sort of fly around, and there is a second chimney, a second smaller chimney.
Okay. So I can still fit down this one?
Yep.
Okay. So I'll check that one out.
All right. So yeah, you go down this one, and it looks like it's shorter than the other one, and it comes out into another room.
Does this one look like a bedroom near the top floor?
You are on the second floor, not the top floor, but the second floor.
Okay. I just imagine that he has a bedroom at the top floor. I don't know.
So you come in. You come into this room, and it's dark when you come in, and you see there's a large mirror on one wall, and there's sort of a dummy wearing some white clothing, some long, flowy white clothing.
Is that what the burgomaster's been wearing?
You don't think it would fit the burgomaster. It doesn't.
Okay.
It looks too small for the burgomaster, but maybe the female that he bumped faces with.
All right. See if I can find another room.
So you come. You see there's a door that is directly across from the chimney that is slightly ajar.
Okay.
And you can sort of get through there. And when you get through there, you're back out into the hallway where the window you got shooed out of. You're sort of back into that hallway.
All right. Back to the study. See if he's back at the desk.
So yeah, you sort of go around and you can hear scratching coming from inside that room, like as if writing.
Oh.
All right.
I was about to say, like, you summoned a zombie and is trying to get out.
No. Yeah, you can hear the doors. Again, the door is slightly ajar, and you can hear scratching coming from inside.
Okay. Are you cool if I break concentration, or am I not?
Yeah. Well, so I mean, it would be super cool if you like flew into the room and then broke concentration.
Yeah, and like came in as Felix and be like,
"Yeah,
I'm gonna do stuff now."
I'm gonna do stuff to you.
All right. So yeah, I'll do that.
Scream if you want. It don't matter none.
And then I will cast blindness on him, or attempt to.
Oh.
Oh, snap.
All right. So what is?
It's a 16 con check.
16 con check. All right. Let me see what his is.
And it's just verbal, so he's gonna hear me.
Okay. So
Time to get that feat where you can cast silently.
Yeah, that's a sorcerer thing.
all right. So con check.
Yeah.
Oh. Don't worry about it. It's fine. 11.
All right. So he is blind.
So yeah, you come in. He gets a brief flash of sort of black, like it's just this black crow coming in, and then if to him it just looks like the crow is just getting larger as your sort of cloak like comes out of it. Yeah, so it's basically, this cloak is sort of coming out of it, and as this happens, he gets sort of a brief flash of just sort of a finger pointing at him. You say the words, and suddenly it's darkness, like he can't see anything, and he kind of gets out of his desk, like stands up, from his desk, and he kind of stumbles back, and he's sort of feeling around. And he goes, "What is this?"
Scream if you want to. It makes no difference to me. But if you do, it will be a quicker death.
And he, what? You?
And I'll close the door.
Right. And you see him kind of. He's still got his hands. He goes, "Who are you? What do you want?"
Who I am is no concern.
What?
What I want is for you to listen.
All right.
I need you to sit in the chair, and I'm going to tie you down.
Oh. I came here looking for a man's butt, and so he.
On your ass.
So he sort of like he goes, "Well, what are you going to do to me?"
We're going to have a talk, and I don't want you to see my face. So I'm going to talk to you from behind you.
This isn't getting
You'll be
better.
in the chair.
Are you going to break my behind? And so he kind of feels the chair. He kind of feels out the chair a little bit. He's trying to, he kind of goes, "All right. Just look, what do you want? Money? Is it money that you want? Did Strahd send you?"
Money means very little to me.
He goes, "Oh." And he sort of sits down in his chair, and he sits down in his chair, and he says, just say what you have to say. What do you want?"
Okay. There's been talk of the town that they're a little bit tired of partying right now.
And he says, "That's for a town that's tired of partying. They're certainly doing enough of it tonight."
That's true. That's a fair point.
Okay, we're done.
Touche.
Bye.
I think they have reason though.
You've really turned me around on this. Sorry for all the trouble. I gotta go.
All right.
My bad. Good night. Tell the wife I said hi.
Okay. And
So
then
I think they have reason though now.
yeah, I'll say, "Well, are you feeling sleepy?"
He goes, What? No. Why would I be feeling sleepy?
All right.
Benjamin
I
back in
really
the
hope
head.
he's just a regular human. I'll cast sleep at 3rd level. That'll be 5d8 plus 4, 98.
Oh, yeah.
He's gonna fall asleep.
Yeah, he just.
All right.
You also hear some thumps from what sounds like the room's cast. Like where you're at, you also hear like it sounds like some people may have gotten caught in the blast.
Perfect. All right. Do I feel that I'm strong enough to grab him and take him? Oh, you know what I'll do? I'll cast Feign Death as
You
a
gotta
ritual
finish
on
that
him, so
sen-
that way he'll look dead, and then I can bring it to Lady Walker.
Wow.
Okay, you're gonna cast Feign Death on him.
Yeah,
Okay. And then you're gonna bring his body
to Lady Walker.
to Lady Walker. What's your strength?
10.
Ooh. So that's a pretty big. I mean, so 10 means you have about average strength. You'd have to carry him, like basically the length of a town, or the height.
Can you
That would
shrink
be.
him?
plus past the guards.
Yeah. You gotta you're gonna have to carry a body out of the house, like down the stairs,
All right.
past the stat. Yeah, you don't think that you'd be able to. I mean, like you could drag his body like across the room or something like that, or maybe carry it to a different place in the house. But like carrying the body all the way back up.
How far is the town to
Like,
Lady Walker's?
how far is the Lady Walkers?
Yeah.
Well, your carrying capacity is strength score multiplied by 15 in
Well,
pounds.
I'm not worried about that. There's something else. I'm gonna kind of surpass that. Gonna use big brain time.
You think it's probably so up to hers. You're going. Luckily, you're not going the length of the town. You're going sort of the width of it. So you're going south to north, but it's still probably 3/4 of a mile.
5,280, 3,900. Damn it! I was gonna use Big B's hand to just carry us along.
I mean, you could cast it multiple times.
I can only cast it twice, but that's only gonna get me 60 around times 20 rounds. That's only gonna get me 1,200 feet.
Okay.
It'll be short. But if I polymorph him, will he stay sleeping?
Yeah, polymorph doesn't affect sleep.
Okay, so I'll just
Because you're not doing any damage to him. You're just changing his form.
All right, I will polymorph him into
a mouse.
Like
a church mouse.
Mouse would be good. Just put him in my pocket and then try and sneak out. I have a climbing speed.
Mouse.
Yeah.
So let's see. The unconscious creature is incapacitated. Can't move, speak, unaware. The creature drops where the creature automatically fails strength. Attack rolls against the creature have advantage. Any attack that hits the creature is a critical hit. The attacker is within 5 feet of the creature. All right, so sounds like he still makes a saving throw.
Oh, well, I don't like that.
Well, I mean,
he's willing.
Well, he's asleep. He's not. So careful.
I also did the feign death, so he appears
careful
dead.
there. Just because they're asleep doesn't mean they're willing.
We had this discussion.
No, with the feign death.
Unconsciousness does not imply consent.
Have you seen the having sex is like tea?
Yes, the tea analogy.
Yeah, I love that one.
What is that one?
Just because if someone says that, maybe they don't want a cup of tea, then you don't pour it down their throat.
It's funny. Okay. All right. So you're gonna polymorph him?
Yeah, I guess while he's asleep and feign death.
All right.
Because I just needed him asleep so I could cast feign death on him, so he could be a willing creature.
All right. So he is. So what's the save on that?
16. Polymorph is a wisdom.
Wisdom. Oh, 16.
God damn it.
Oh.
All right, level 5 polymorph. Try again.
Oh, yeah, fails that one.
Okay, cool. I got a mouse in my pocket, and it's not what you guys think it is.
So yeah, you pick up the sleeping now mouse burgomaster and just sort of tuck him in your pocket.
Yep, and then I'll bring him to Lady Walker as stealthily as I can.
How are you getting out of the house?
I have a climbing speed.
All right, so you're gonna go out the window.
I also have feather fall, but
okay. All right, so you're going out the window, scurry down the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Give me a stealth check with advantage because the guards aren't particularly attentive this evening. /sober.
Why is that not rolling? Roll.
Oh, there you go.
15.
15. Okay. Yeah, you're fine. So you managed to get out, climb down, no problem. You're back on the street and heading north.
Okay. I'm guessing I can cover 3/4 of a mile in under an hour.
Oh yeah, easy. Are you gonna stop by the Blue Water Inn?
Struggling with consent.
No.
Just imagine instead of initiating sex,
Somebody's watching the consent video.
Nope, straight to Lady Walker's.
All right, so you head straight up to Lady Walker's. You head straight north.
That is such a wrong name, I'm telling you.
You know, I'm not really sure. Then you can make them a cup of tea, or not.
I'll just go ahead and let this finish.
Drink it.
Who's watching it?
Don't drink it, then. And this is the important bit. Don't make them drink it. Just because you made it doesn't mean you're entitled to watch them drink it. And if they say, no thank you, then don't make them tea at all. Just don't make them tea. Don't make them drink tea. Don't get annoyed at them for not wanting tea. They just don't want tea, okay? They might say, yes, please, that's kind of you. And then when the tea arrives, they actually don't want the tea at all. Sure, that's
Your
kind
waste.
of annoying as you've gone to the effort of making the tea. But they remain under no obligation to drink the tea. They did want tea, now they don't. Some people change their mind at the time it takes to boil the kettle, brew the tea, and add the milk. And it's okay for people to change their mind. And you are still not entitled to watch them drink it. And if they are unconscious, don't make them tea. Unconscious people don't want tea, and they can't answer the question, do you want tea? Because they're unconscious. And they said yes. But at the time it took me to boil the kettle, brew the tea, and add the milk, they're now unconscious. You should just put the tea down. Make sure the unconscious person is safe. And this is the important part again. Don't make them drink the tea.
Do you offer tea to someone else then?
But unconscious people don't want tea. If someone said yes to tea, started drinking it, and then passed out, don't keep it.
Oh, tea.
All right. So you head. You head up to Lady Walker's house at the sort of the north side of town. You see, indeed, she has a mansion. It is, just slightly smaller than the Burgomaster's, like just enough to be so that it can be said that it is smaller. It's basically the same house, but 8/9 scale size in every direction, in every dimension.
All right, I'll knock on the door.
You knock on the door. Nobody answers at first.
Knock again.
You knock on the door. Knock on the door a little bit louder. This time you can hear someone coming to the door, to the door, and it you hear some chains and things being some bolts and stuff being undone on the door, and then the door opens, and there is a woman is standing there. Sort of, she's definitely she's an older lady, and she's very stately looking, and she's in these long sort of black robes.
All right. Is Lady Walker home?
I am the Lady Walker. Who is asking?
Name may not be important right now, but I have a present for you. I'll hold up the mouse and say, I have the Burgomaster.
She looks at you and she goes, and she, and now she sort of leans forward and she gets a good look at your face, in the light of the door. And she kind of steps back a little bit and she goes, who are you? Who sent you?
I'm more of a freelance worker right now. But if you must know, I am Felix.
Felix.
I'm one of the bringers of wine.
Oh, I wanted to talk to you.
May I come in?
Indeed, please. And bring and she sort of cocks an eyebrow up and she's like, Burgomaster, in with you.
As soon as I pass the threshold, I'll break concentration, so he just lumps on the floor.
She steps back in genuine surprise. She's like, my God, that's the Burgomaster.
Did you think myself a liar?
Well, not a liar, perhaps a little unstable. I mean,
That's fair.
she says, how have you done this? Are you, did the Lord Strahd send you?
No.
And you see her, she sort of, opens her hands as if this is a gift.
No. Strahd did not send me. Were you expecting him?
Well, my family has a long ties to the von Zaroviches.
Out
And
of game. I've made a huge mistake.
and she says, I have never broken faith with the Lord Strahd. My family, the Wachters, have always been faithful to the von Zaroviches since they settled this valley. So I assumed that you were sent by the Lord Strahd to finally overthrow this fool. And she sort of looks, looks with disdain at him.
Good job, Felix.
I know.
My bad. Rewind. Control Z. Control Z.
Can we go back to the last save point?
Well, what would you like to do with him?
She goes, well, and she gives this like little titter of a laugh, and she goes, book club is meeting this evening. As you can see, I am dressed for it. She sort of gives you another appraising look, and she sort of leans forward, and she catches the whiff of sort of sulfur and dead guy coming off of you. And she goes, you may be interested in what we're doing tonight. The burgomaster would certainly be invited as the guest of honor.
Evil Felix is like, all right, let's do this. Ryan is like, this was a huge mistake.
And she says, may I take the Lord Wachter?
Wait, the burgomaster, you mean?
Sorry, may I take the burgomaster? Thank you.
He is yours.
And she goes, in a moment. And she goes down, she sort of walks back. You hear a door open, and you can hear her call down. It sounds like she's calling with her head in another room. And in seconds, few people come up wearing black robes. They don't have some of the intricate embroidery that she has on her robes.
Oh, so I'll fit right into this group.
Oh, yeah. Just you wait. She goes, yes. He will do much better than the one we had prepared. I think tonight we may get an answer. And they walk over, and they gently pick up the burgomaster who's still sleeping, and they carry him downstairs. And she reaches out a hand to you, and she says, "Please, join us. You have brought the offering. You should definitely be a part of this ritual."
Insight to my safety?
Oh yeah, go ahead.
12.
You're not getting any you're not getting any threatening vibes off of her towards you. She did seem she looked, when you sort of said, "Oh yeah, he's yours." She looked at the Lord Wachter. She looked at him like a McNugget. Like she looked at him like, "Oh, perfect. Like this is going to hit the spot."
Well done, Felix.
Once again, this crew strikes again. Like, oh my God.
She says, please join me. Join us. She says, I assume you are gifted in the arcane arts?
Yeah.
Oh, truly, I know you said that the Lord Strahd did not send you, but I'm sure he had a hand in this. Please, follow me, join us. And she leads you over to the doorway that she had sort of opened up, and you see there's these stairs leading down.
Does anyone else hear
please murder Felix?
Slow clapping. I'm telling you, I hear Strahd slow clapping from his castle.
Oh, yeah, he thinks this is pretty funny.
You could have been a part of this, Gaston. You could have stopped this.
Yeah, you could have been the voice of reason, but no, you had to put out fires just because Nico likes to burn down stuff and murder people. So you head downstairs with them into this basement. It's sort of rough cut. You see, it is there's sort of the walls and stuff are undressed stone. And you walk down and you can see that there are 4 or 5 beds along one wall. Looks like people, and you can see that this is an inhabited place. You can see signs of people that are definitely sort of living here. And Lady Wachter walks over to one of a wall of the room where the people are waiting, holding the burgomaster. And she reaches up and she places her hand on the door, and you see these symbols around where her hand is. They light up, and because you now speak and read Infernal, you recognize the symbols as a ward of sealing.
I should counterspell and run.
They deactivate, and the door just sort of looks like it just sort of melts away, and there's now a doorway, and the people walk through, and inside, you walk inside and you see there's a ritual circle that's been set up, and it has infernal symbols that are carved all around it.
Do I just fit in and start grabbing a seat and
Yeah, I mean,
chanting with them?
You walk in, you're like, oh, is there like craft services, or is there like
Panel unit Gaston, take some notes.
and so there's it's sort of a ritual circle, and in the center of that ritual circle, you see there is a child that is bound and gagged.
Oh my god!
In the center of that circle. They walk over and they pick up the child, and the child is unconscious. They throw the unconscious form of the child just sort of into the corner, casually. They set the burgomaster down in the center of this ritual circle, and they sort of stretch out his arms and legs, and they begin tying him down. How long does sleep last?
I believe it's 1 hour.
Okay. So yeah, that hour's coming up here. So he and they say one of the hooded figures stands up in the black robes, the hooded figures, they say,
Oh, sorry. That was 1 minute.
oh, it's 1 minute?
That was not good.
Oh, he's definitely awake then. We'll say that you had him as a mouse.
Mouse was
Contained.
strapped around in his pocket, ineffectually.
Right. Yeah. So basically, they've got the burgomaster. They've got him tied up. He is now conscious and he's screaming, demanding to know what is going on here. What are you doing? And he gets sight of Lady Wachter and he goes, "Oh, you evil bitch! How dare you! Release me at once. Do you have any idea what you're doing?" And she goes, "I have exactly the idea of what I'm doing." And she walks over and she takes one of her, the long lacquered nails on one of her fingers, and she walks over to him and she opens his shirt, and she carves a symbol with her nail, just digs a furrow in his skin, carving this infernal symbol into his skin. And he's like, "Ah! What are you doing, you crazy bitch?"
I saved a child. Let that be known.
Gaston approves of half of your actions.
That child's dead.
So she begins, she carves this symbol into him in blood. And she goes, "All right, everyone, let's begin." And he's like, "Begin what? What are you doing?" And she gestures to you, and she gestures to one of the points of this sort of pentagram type thing, and she gestures to you and says, "Please join us."
Well, if you insist.
Yeah, this is what we're doing tonight. So she begins to chant, and the burgomaster the entire time is sort of screaming. And she begins to chant, and the people around her are holding their hands out. And you can feel that there's sort of a circle that's being joined. And if you have to join it sort of willingly.
Mhm.
So does Felix sort of join this circle willingly?
I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you join it. You can feel.
Reluctantly, yes.
Oh my god.
So you can feel power sort of moving through you and from you.
Am I getting power drunk?
As you were sitting in this circle, and she begins to chant this sort of rolling chant that gets louder and louder, and yeah. So
Do I recognize what's going on, like what the end goal is for this circle and chant?
So you can understand the words. The words are in infernal. She is calling out to one of the lords of the 9 hells.
Ah, awesome.
She is calling out for aid and for a servant to aid her in taking over the town and in gaining power.
So my new boss is about to be summoned, huh?
So she has her hands out. So you lose, Felix is being part of the circle. You lose your 3rd, your 4th are gone, and your 5th level spell slot.
Oh shit. Well, I was already at a 4, so.
Yeah, so your 3rd and 5th level, that last 5th level slot is gone. As power, you can feel power sort of going through you, sort of powering this ritual. And as the ritual continues, the burgomaster who had been sort of calling out and yelling, you see that symbol that she carved onto his chest in blood suddenly ignite, and you see this sort of blue-black flame sort of burn from it. He screams louder and is now incoherent. Apparently, it's pretty painful. She continues to chant. The chant is sort of rolling.
Am I scared of this fire?
No.
Okay.
Feels nice. It's comforting.
One time it doesn't help.
Yeah, no, you're not. Yeah, this is not like this is a spiritual fire. She walks over with she pulls out the ceremonial dagger that you can see. It has infernal runes that are carved all the way down it. She walks over and she sets the dagger onto the burning sigil on this guy's chest. And you can now see there's a bunch of runes, infernal runes, script that light up all down the length of the dagger. It does not say anything good. Like everything on the dagger basically is about
sourdough recipe.
It is not a pineapple upside down cake. Like it is everything on that dagger is basically it allows for the exchange of a soul for passage from someone from the 9 hells to come up.
Do any of us notice that Felix has been missing from the party for like an hour?
Come save me.
You didn't notice when he left. Nico and Boomer definitely didn't notice when he left.
No. I wondered if Gaston.
You definitely. So he's been like Gaston. You saw when he left, like, because he messaged you and was like, "Hey, I'm gonna go follow this guy." So Gaston, you definitely are in the know that he has left.
It's only been an hour though, right?
Yeah, it's been about an hour.
Is Gaston even there?
No, I was thinking, did he take Jeff with him?
No, I did not. I need to be extra stealthy.
Right. Yeah, Jeff clatters a lot when he moves.
Okay, so if Jeff is still around and still animated, he's fine.
Right.
Yeah,
because
that's
otherwise
fair,
he would have made Jeff come and get us.
Right.
So I'm assuming everything's okay.
Yeah, that's fair logic, right? Yeah. If you're well, and Jeff hasn't collapsed, so you're like, well, he's still conscious. So. All right. So the ritual continues. She now that this obsidian dagger is now alight with these sort of red infernal sigils. She picks up the dagger. The chant that she's been sort of going is now coming to a crescendo. She's now calling out a demon by name. It's not one of the names. It's not one of the major lords of hell. Like it's not one of the rulers of the 9 levels. Probably an archduke or something like that. You would think. Good news is it's not a demon. So silver
That's
lining
good news?
there.
Yay! We wouldn't want to unleash any demons.
Right.
Been there,
You
done that.
asshole. You got to be a real asshole to unleash a plague of demons onto a plane. I mean,
Well, what constitutes a
Weird.
plague? How many? Like
That would be really irresponsible.
10, 15?
Yeah, it'd be super
Like,
weird.
One.
No one
One is a
in
plague.
this group
yeah,
did that.
one is too many.
One is a
Yeah,
plague.
but is that a plague or just an
Yes.
inconvenience?
One is a plague.
An inconvenience.
An inconvenience of demons.
Yeah, that's what they're called. It's an
That's the
inconvenience.
collective noun. Yeah.
Oh no!
All right. So she, the chant comes to her, comes to a crescendo. She has the knife in both hands. The burgomaster is screaming, and you can see the burgomaster. It looks like so. There's the physical form of the burgomaster, and then you can see sort of the spiritual. Some might say the soul of the burgomaster, slightly above his body, like as if it's being sort of drawn out. She drives the knife down.
Fire spell. Fire.
And you can see it hits the soul of the burgomaster, but does no damage. The knife does no damage to the body of the burgomaster, but the soul is pierced. And you hear this scream, like just this piercing scream that hits you sort of spiritually. And everyone in the circle is sort of rocked back a little bit. The lady sort of holds on, and she manages to keep up the chant after the dagger's in, and you can see this sort of ethereal blood just well up and pour from this soul. The burgomaster stops screaming, like abruptly, just sort of cuts off. The psychic scream sort of continues on. It eventually fades, and you can see out of the soul of the burgomaster, you see this sort of portal sort of spring up. It's not fully formed. It comes up, but it's sort of like you can see sort of this churning mass of energy inside of it, just sort of roiling and moving around. And as you watch, you can see the portal slowly start to grow bigger. With that, the lady she stops her chant and she has her head down. You can see like her hair is just damp with sweat. It's hanging down now from her face out of her the cowl of her hood, and you can see sweat sort of dripping down. She gives sort of a sigh. Around her, the acolytes around her continue to chant. There's 3 guys around her, sort of that continue to chant. You can feel there's no more energy being drawn from you. But you can tell that the circle is now sort of just the triangle of these 3 guys, and they're continuing to chant, and you can see that this portal is growing. And she stands up and she goes, thank you, Felix.
Yeah, you did the good job.
Yeah, without you, this never would have happened.
She said, this is the 10th such attempt that we have made. And
10's the lucky number, right?
she said, I don't think it was luck. I believe our Lord Strahd had a hand in this. He sent you to us, whether you know it or not. Your power and the gift of the burgomaster that you have brought us, the noble line of his blood, has allowed us to open this portal. And she said, it will take some time before the portal is complete and large and stable enough for our devil lord to enter into our realm. But I assure you, it will be done. Thank you. And she gestures over to the child, and she said, would you like to take this as a gift for another ritual, perhaps, that you would like to perform?
I don't want the child, but I need to get the child out of there. But I wouldn't, because I wouldn't care about the child.
Nah. You're like, yeah. You know what? I'm driving, so pass. She says, very well, very well. We will of course find a use for this one.
Like I don't mind paying for somebody.
And she's
Gotta
she's-
recycle, I guess.
Yeah, well, she tells you, she says, this is a child of the Vistani, and no one pays them too much attention, and our Lord Strahd has allowed us to use them for these purposes.
I don't feel too highly of the Vistani, right?
Nah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't really see a use for the child myself besides vampire bait, but
Right.
It cost me my beard and mohawk. Of course, you don't think too highly of them.
Well, technically, the Vistani didn't cost you that. It was the
No.
I mean, you made a heroic and selfless act to protect them
And
from.
look what it got me.
To protect them from the spontaneous eruptions of a young sorcerer.
Spontaneous eruptions, yeah.
Yeah.
That's
you
what
could
they
almost
call
say
it.
premature.
Yeah, I mean, he was a young man.
I think that's how he described it, actually.
Yeah, these things happen. Wind blows right, suddenly fireball. All right, so she says, would you care for some refreshments or a place to sleep? I know these things can be quite tiring. I assure you, I'm going to maybe have a little something to eat before I retire.
You could eat and sleep.
Excellent. And so she leads you back upstairs, and there's sort of some food that has been laid out. And she says, "Please eat what you want." She grabs herself like a small plate, and she eats.
Yeah, I make sure she eats first.
Oh yeah,
Like
she eats, she eats the food. She eats the food. She drinks. Yeah, you're like, okay, all right. No, I like exactly what you're eating. Just exactly that.
That's putting it in her mouth, just like.
Sorry, that's cat culture,
Yeah.
So you managed to eat. You eat and drink, and she says, "So, how long will you be here in Wallachia? Would you like to be part of our ascension to power?"
Had to say the P word.
Just, I understand if you have more pressing concerns. If you have more pressing concerns, if the Lord Strahd has summoned you, I understand, but
he actually has summoned us, so I'm not lying. He did ask us to come by.
She said, "Of course, if the Lord has summoned you, you must heed his call. I assure you, we will mention your name. We will sing your name and praises during the cleansing of this town." You're like, so you're gonna have the demons?
Is that like a coffee cleanse?
Yeah, you're gonna have the devil wash stuff. Did you summon a scouring devil?
Yeah.
No, it's the other kind. Cool.
When should the portal be open?
Well, it should be tomorrow night, about this time. It should be
Gotta
large.
leave before tomorrow night. All right, off to bed.
All right, so are you going to sleep here, or are you going to go back to the inn?
No, they offered me a bed.
Yeah, she offered you a bed. Yeah, she said, I of course will be sleeping with my husband, but please, she sort of leads you upstairs and she shows you this hallway. She says, any of these rooms, please take your pick. There's like three bedroom doors that you can see.
I'll just take a peek and all, and then go back to the first one. Just make sure that they weren't like.
Yeah, they're all more or less identical. Like, I mean, subtle variations, but mostly the same. Sort of bed,
the red
wash
room or the
stand.
green room or the blue room?
Just making sure no one's waiting in those rooms or something.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, yep.
The hell was that?
Probably someone's graduation or something.
Oh.
Who'd you piss off, Skippy?
Not enough slime.
All right, sorry that took so long, guys. I thought it would just be a quick grab and go.
Oh, no.
A quick grab and go.
You have
What are you getting,
changed.
takeout?
Quickly abduct the burger
You've
monster.
changed the fate of this town single-handedly.
Yeah.
Maybe for the better.
So question: since we have a forge here, how long is it take me to fix this? To fix the room, the scribing on the steak?
Hopefully, no more than 12 hours.
So depending on, so if you're working with Boomer, who has sort of experience at the forge, and you and Gaston sort of know what's happening, you think you can probably have, you think you could, it's fairly delicate work. There's some prayers and some things that have to go on. You think you could probably have it done in 8-ish hours.
All right. So we actually might be out by tomorrow night.
No,
that sucks so bad.
Nah, traveling at night's bad. We'll rest again. Plus, this is where the wine is.
Literally left a trail.
Everyone is going to have a really bad hangover.
Oh,
here.
if I'm on a moving cart, does Tiny Hut go with me?
Oh, is it stationary? That's the question.
If you're on a moving cart, does it go with you?
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a good question. Let's take a look.
Like if you cast it on a boat, would you wreck the boat, or would the boat carry the tiny hut?
Which reference frame does the hut rest in?
Yeah,
Right.
it says it remains stationary, but stationary to the cart or to the physical location?
With respect to the cosmic microwave background.
I see so many pranks.
Some good loopholes on that.
Let's see. Let's check out Tiny Hut.
It'll be pretty safe to travel at night.
It's
Well,
held
not
in
pretty safe.
frame of
It'll be more
reference to
safe.
Mount Celestia.
A 10-foot radius in all of them.
Because, I mean, are any of us really stationary with our planet hurling around?
Yeah, exactly. Which reference frame?
If you didn't know, this planet's flat.
Have you not seen the map of this thing? Yeah.
Hey, the UN flag has it right.
Exactly. We should mount an expedition to the ice wall.
We can't. The government's protecting it.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, the NASA secret army.
Yeah.
That's right. I forgot.
Oh yeah, there's a bunch of things on here. So I would say, I'd say you couldn't. I will say that you can't cast it on something as small as like a cart.
Okay.
Plus, the cart's not big enough to encompass the thing. But if you cast it on something like a ship,
that can fit the footprint of it.
Sort of fit the footprint of it, and something that was large enough to sort of sustain the metaphysical weight of this hut.
Yeah, I can't just build like 10 feet up on a little like crow's
Nico's
nest on the cart.
Right.
Cast it there.
Right. Yeah. So I mean, it has to be something that like could realistically sort of sustain like because it's like this immobile sort of thing, and so you have to cast on something that is structurally sound enough to support it.
That's fair.
And once it's cast on there, because the metaphysical weight of this thing is significant. Once it's cast on there, it doesn't move from that. And depending on what you cast it on, it may impede the travel of that thing.
Like a cart not being able to go.
So
Right.
If we
Basically,
cast
if
it
you
on the
cast on
back
the
of a
cart,
dragon. So say we cast on the back of a dragon, would it immobilize the dragon?
So you would probably, to cast it on the back of a dragon, you'd probably have to, the dragon would probably get a saving throw to basically throw off the hut.
But if you failed a saving throw,
If you failed it, depending, so a ancient dragon probably wouldn't be too bothered by it.
It also takes a minute to cast.
Right. So you
When
gotta
it's
tell
not
that dragon.
prepared.
You gotta tell that dragon. Now I'm gonna need you to
Stay.
just don't mind me. Nothing's
that's
happening
what the
up
sleep
here.
spell is for.
Yeah. So well, yeah, if you can cast a sleep spell with enough hit points to put an ancient dragon to sleep. I mean, good luck.
Just sell some more of your soul. Get the power, dude.
Someone else's.
Can I hold action on sleep spells and stack them up?
I'd like to cast all my sleep spells at once. Okay, so you're gonna stay the night at Lady Walker's house.
Yep.
All right. So the Burgomaster is now has now been his soul has now been consigned to the 9 hells.
Small price to pay. Someone else's soul.
Thanks to Felix. Yeah, you know, I barely felt the loss. Yeah, so you sleep. The party is still going on. You guys, like, it sort of goes late into the night. Partying it up. The band plays. Everything is, it's a pretty good night. Eventually, people, I mean, the Blue Water Inn looks like Jonestown the morning after. Like, there's just people, they just slept where they fell. Like, it was that kind of a party. Like, it was that kind of a night where it was, you know, people just kept drinking until eventually they just passed out where they were. Like, there's one guy, and this is funny, this is actually based on something I've seen before. You find a guy in the bathroom, like, dick hanging out of his pants. He's propped against the wall like this, asleep. You know, and
How drunk were you?
So we were at this. It's called Wildflower. It's a triathlon, and they have Cal Poly students volunteer to run it, and so we were working security, and we were walking around because all the students, like, they just party for like the whole weekend. And we found this guy leaned up against a tree. He was taking a piss against the tree, and he had passed out, like, dick hanging out, leaned against the tree. And we, like, woke him up. We're all, hey man. He's like, oh. He, like, kind of zips up. Get me a beer. Bag it. Like, wow.
Well, he passed his con check.
Yeah, I was like, that guy can rally. Yeah, but yeah, we found this guy just, you know, passed out, dick hanging out up against the tree. It was really funny. So yeah, it was that sort of an evening at the Blue Water Inn.
Yeah, it was.
So you guys eventually, you know, I'm not going to say. So wait, Asgrim, were you partying as well?
I ate, had a couple of beers, and went to bed.
Okay.
I got business to do in the morning.
Right. Yeah. You're like, look, man, I got holy work to do. Gaston, obviously, you kept your wits about you.
Yep.
Joke's on us. He's the one that started the fire.
I've been waiting to cast this spell, so I'm going to start the fire and put it out, damn it.
Right, yeah. He was like, oh, man. Well, I mean, yeah, you had to cast it a couple of times throughout the night, Gaston. Like, it was that kind of party. Like, it was, you know, people, you know, they wandered back into the kitchen, decided to put some noodles on, and then wandered away. And, you know.
Terrible how flammable these old buildings are.
Yeah, and so it was a good time was had by all, but they definitely needed a chaperone, you know. All right, so Boomer, give me a Constitution check with advantage, or well, Constitution saving throw with advantage to see how spry you are in the morning.
Do I wake him?
19 plus 7.
No, turns out Boomer's sort of up with the sun. Like, he's, despite like having drank all night and like drank the hard stuff, Boomer sort of pops up. You know, Nico is still like on top of him. Like, you guys sort of like smell as you were like wandering around. So you kind of throw Nico off. There's a questionable wet spot
Like
on the
a
back.
Nico tunic.
Yeah, there's a questionable wet spot on you on the back of your head. Until you
That's what
smell
happens
it.
when you play chicken with a drunk guy.
Yeah, and then you smell it, and it's no longer a question. You're like, oh no, he peed on me. That's what that is. Like, he definitely pissed on the back of my head.
Wasn't the first time.
I give him
Probably won't be the last.
Yeah.
Yeah, not the first time.
It's the best he smelled in weeks.
Yeah.
I give him a good hearty kick. Good morning.
Nico, you.
Oh wait, let me try. I'm gonna walk over and give Nico another really good hearty kick. Good
Another
morning.
good hearty kick. All right, Nico, go ahead and give me a Constitution saving throw.
Come on, let's see.
Astron has come down from his room at this point, so you get that +4.
Is your liver surviving?
What'd you get?
I rolled a 1.
Yeah. Nico, that was a hard road trip on Nico's liver plus the partying. So he, even with the kicks, he does that thing where he kind of rolls over, cuts a loud fart, and then just keeps right on sleeping. Like,
as his liver's the size of a fucking raisin.
Yeah, it's a rough go. Nico is still sleeping.
Yeah.
Would the dwarves have some kind of like hangover ritual kind of thing? Something to kind of
hair of the dog.
Yeah.
It's called a Bloody Mary, my friend.
So the dwarves do have. There is a hangover thing. It's rarely employed as dwarves are pretty hardy, but because they do party with other peoples. They do have a hangover cure that is 50-50 on curing killing. But if you survive it, like it just peels it right back, right? I mean, it's
it's worth it.
Yeah, if it works, it works really good. Yeah.
It's like not so bad, right, Nico?
Yeah.
Sounds good.
It's like, it's like eating a bowl of menudo first thing in the morning, like just that spicy soup with the cow intestine, like you eat that and it just peels that hangover right back.
Yeah.
If it doesn't make you vomit.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Let's menudo it.
All right. So you're going to mix up sort of a dwarven mixture. Would you like to say what is in this mix, or shall I?
And is Skippy going to administer it? Her special way. His special way.
Yeah. Well, if you want it to be effective, I mean,
he quickly absorbs.
Right
into the blood.
Hey, whatever works best.
Right.
Nothing. Yeah. All the best for my friend Nico.
It only works when
spicy.
It only works when it's scalding hot as well.
Oh yeah, no, it's got to be brought to a boil, right? So it usually starts with an ale base, but as you're having trouble finding ale here, you're like, well, we're gonna have to go with the wine. So it starts with a wine base, right? You need the dust of the hardest rock you can find. So around here, you can find granite.
Or dandruff if you can't find rocks.
Right? You got to grind that up. You put that into the wine, although you don't want the grind to be too fine, right? You need it to be a little bit, you want it to be a little bit coarse because you got to feel it. That's how it, that's how it wakes you up.
Right.
Dry toast.
Right? It takes, it's a little bit of blood, just a little bit. Kind of cut yourself. You're like, look, because you need some good dwarven blood in you.
Yeah.
To make,
that makes sense.
Because what's happening here is you're not strong enough. You have weak Flatlander blood. I'm going to have. You put a little bit of blood in there. You got the rock dust in there. You need something that's got a real pungent smell to it. Usually you guys have like some sort of a something fermenting in a sheep's stomach or a goat's stomach. You probably aren't going to be able to find that here, although you can find there's some old cabbage.
Probably just scrape a bit off Skippy.
I was say, I know some armpit slime.
Yeah.
And then now that you're thinking about it, Gaston brings that up, and you're like, you know what? I think you're right. And so Skippy, who's still sort of passed out in her barrel, like you just walk over and you're like, excuse me, Skippy, I just need a little scrape. And also, you take a little nip of the barrel water she's in. Ho-ha, it's got a kick to it. You add some of that. You add some of that to the pot. Bring that up to a boil, okay? And then you go into the kitchen and you find some of the spicier peppers that they have hanging up there. But because there's not a lot of sun here in Barovia, what they use for spice here is actually a mold. But it's got a real sort of kick to it. So you're like, well, I don't know if that's as spicy as the stuff that I'm used to. I'll just scrape all of it. And just sort of take that off because you want to help Nico, right?
Yep.
So you mash that
I'm gonna
up.
wake him up real good.
You grind it up. You bring it up. So you brought it up to a boil, scalding hot. Are we going in through the outdoor, or how traditional of a dwarf are you?
I'm a pretty traditional dwarf.
Yeah, because the thing is when most people pass out, they pass out face down. And if they're vomiting, you're not going to be able to get this in them, right? It's really just a matter of practicality.
So to use a funnel for that?
Exactly.
Yeah, there's a funnel in the kitchen that you can get. It is not a small or smooth funnel, but it's a funnel.
Do we need a funnel? I mean, we have like long neck bottles, right?
Yeah. Sure. Skippy probably has a few medicine healing potion bottles around.
Well, and so Skippy goes, there's a way that we can get it in real fast.
Turkey baster?
We're gonna fill up a bottle.
Okay.
We're gonna stick it in, and then we're gonna break the end off that bottle.
Brilliant.
Yeah, Skippy says, this is called bowing the drink. Shotguns haven't been invented yet. Skippy says, I call this bowing it because as soon as you pop that top off, it boom, snaps like the string and it goes right in, right? That liquid's going to
I'm open to new cultures.
So Skippy says, check this out. So Nico, you roll Nico over in his very passed out, roll a 1 constitution state. I was going to say you pull down the leathers, but you got to just kind of peel like they're yeah. So you got to just sort of peel those down. You got that bottle, you got sort of, holding it. And the rest of you can't hold it because it's right, but your calloused, sort of forged dwarf hands, you're able to bottle of scalding liquid. Boom,
yeah.
What
are friends for?
Yeah.
Self-noted, never get drunk around Ed.
Nobody's invented Sharpies here, so it's like, well, I can't get a dick on them. So boom, the bottle goes in. You ask Azkern, you say, actually you ask Gaston, he's a little bit shorter, you say, Gaston, can you steady this for me? I need you to just hold this upright. You take a step back. Gaston is holding the bottle. You pick up Kavan and you slice the top of that bottle clean off. It is a magnificent stroke.
Shards is good.
The boiling liquid, which has sort of been, which is hot, and this boiling liquid has sort of built up pressure. You cut it off, and instantly, boom, it longbows right into him. Right, this is called longbowing a drink. It longbows right into Nico. It's got the rough gravel from the granite there.
Yep.
It's got the spice from the mold.
Dwarven blood.
It's got some of the fiery dwarven blood in there, and it's all encapsulated in boiling wine.
Oh.
All right, Nico. I need you to make a constitution. I need you to make a constitution check with advantage. So if you make it, you're awake. You are wide awake. Like, I'm talking, you are more awake than you've possibly been in a year. Like, you are in a moment of clarity awake.
Like a dog at the vet.
Double one.
Double one. If you fail,
Oh,
you make
double 18.
Oh, yeah.
Wow,
So
nice.
Nico comes roaring to life. Like, yeah, you have. So there's a bottle hanging out of your ass.
Yeah.
But you get straight up and you are eyes wide. There is no fog. Like, you are so sober. This is the most sober you have been ever. And like all and like you are forced in an instant, just for an instant, to examine your life because you have this moment of clarity. Your mind is completely stripped of any sort of chemical haze or fog.
Yeah.
For just a moment, everything becomes laid before you, like sort of all the decisions of your life sort of become are laid out before you. And you can see the path, all the decisions that have brought you to this point. It lasts for a second.
That's a long second.
It's a long second. It feels like an eternity. But you can see everything, all the way back from when you sort of, teenager on the streets of Waterdeep.
Yeah.
All the double dealing, just everything. Getting in with criminal organizations, all the backstabbing, all the treachery, all the things you did for small, petty gains that you can now see those were petty, small gains. All of it has culminated to this point with you standing up from a puddle of puke with a bottle hanging out of your ass. Holding sphincter. And then that second is gone. And not quite a fog. You're still super sober, but things aren't quite as clear as they were. The memory sort of fades. And you can feel there's just sort of this shadow just sort of falls over all of those memories. And you're like, whoa.
Yeah, I'll probably clap Boomer around the back and say, like, ha ha! Fantastic party, right?
That's the first thing he does instead of pulling the bottle out of his ass.
Bottle still hanging out of his ass, by the way. Pants still down, bottle hanging out.
I just say, yeah, I'll just be like, wow, that was a good
Want me
one.
to get that for you?
Say, no, hang on. No. I'll just, I'll remove the bottle. And
you remove a bottle. There's sort of this gush of boiled wine and gravel that just sort of like clunk, 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 like just sort of a.
Is anyone else awake, or is it just us down here at the moment?
It is. Oh no, there's people. Yeah, it's still just people sort of littering the carpet. Nobody else. I mean, everybody else is just sort of they were human and drinking.
Do I see? What's the innkeeper's name again? The guy? Erwin. Do I see him down here?
Oh yeah.
I'm going to go up to his room. I'm just going to go and freshen up, and I'll just go up to Erwin's room.
All right. Yeah. So you head up to Erwin's room.
Pants around his ankles.
Yeah.
I'll minor illusion myself so I look all right.
So you head upstairs. Danica is sort of passed out across the bed, just clothes still on, just managed to, looks like she managed to get in the room and get to the bed and then just whomp.
Shoes on?
Shoes on. Yeah. Oh no. She didn't manage much more than that.
Is there like a bath or anything for like washing clothes?
There is, but you got to bring water up.
Oh, okay.
It's called Gaston.
Gaston!
Help! No. But it's all right. A couple of days it'll wash out. I'm just
Oh.
It's probably gonna rain.
yeah.
No.
It'll be okay. I've smelled worse. Okay.
Haven't smelled better. But...
So while I'm up here, I would like to see if I can find an example of the guy's handwriting.
Of Irwin's?
Yeah, Owen's handwriting.
Yeah. So there's a desk. Like he has a small desk.
Yeah.
That has some personal letters and things that are sort of laying out. Looks like correspondence between correspondence between his sister. It looks like his older sister.
So I'd like to find. I'll just take. I'll sort of go down to like halfway through the pile and just take out one of the letters that he's written.
Okay.
Hold it up and put it in my pocket.
Okay.
And then I'll go back downstairs.
I'm sure you have a wholesome plan. You're like, oh yeah, I want to donate a bunch to charity in his name. So I just want to make sure I get his handwriting right.
Good guys, man.
Yeah, I'm sure that's
Not
what's
Felix
happening.
anymore. He's not even part of the good guys.
All right, so you head downstairs.
It's okay, Felix. Neither is Nico.
True.
Sorry?
He said neither. Nico's not really part of the good guys.
We're gonna start our own team, the guys.
The guys, yeah.
Guys.
The boys.
All right, so yeah, you head
Actually,
downstairs. Everybody
Those
is
are the not great of the good guys, not great.
Good guys, not great.
So you guys head downstairs. Everybody is awake. Felix, you are still sort of laying in the Lady Walker's house.
Did I catch a real rest?
Yeah, you catch sleep. You're able to rest surprisingly comfortably, given the fact that there is a portal to the Nine Hells slowly opening up just a few floors beneath you.
Fine. Everything's fine.
So you wake up. Lady Walker when you go downstairs. Lady Walker is downstairs. Is downstairs in the kitchen. Some servants down there that are preparing breakfast, and you see she's sitting at the table with sort of breakfast set out before her.
Oh, may I join you for breakfast?
Why, yes, please, Felix, come. I've already checked. Our cabal is still. They are still maintaining the summoning. The portal is growing nicely.
Oh, that's happening.
Yes, thank you again.
You're welcome.
Uh,
Felix said reluctantly.
What would you like for breakfast?
Oh, what's available?
And she says, well, we have a nice selection of breakfast sausages. We also have eggs. And I can also offer you a selection of teas.
What if I don't want any tea?
Well, I'm not going to pour it down your throat, of course.
Oh, thank goodness.
Your choice.
Yeah.
I changed my mind. I don't want tea.
That's fine. You know. You can change your mind mid-cup.
The child was made into the sausage.
You can roll a nature check.
Okay. Nature. +4. Oh, no, that's too many. That's a roll of a 3 +4 for 7.
Wow.
It's probably pig.
Don't ask what's in the sausage.
No, you're not supposed to ask how it's made.
You never ask how the sausage is made.
Ever.
You can ask what's in it, just not how it's made. I guess load up a plate of everything.
Yeah, you scoop up some of the eggs, some of that sausage.
I don't find a tooth or anything, do
No.
Is this a ring?
I?
What is that childlike innocence I taste? Yeah, so you enjoy a breakfast. You and the lady talk over a few things. She asked you, if you're going to stay for the completion of the ritual, or when do you have to get, to get up to the castle?
I'm not sure how long it'll take our party to be ready to venture out, but we may stay.
That would be lovely. I think you would like to see the true power of the true power of what you helped us summon.
So, just for information, what could possibly get in the way so I can be on the lookout to help keep it open of letting this thing collapse?
She says, "Oh, well, of course. Well, of course, if the cabal was interrupted during the summoning, that would disrupt the portal. Certainly, any sort of she sort of fans herself a little. Any sort of consecration that might sort of happen, but of course, we don't have to worry about that."
Gaston!
She says, we should begin to see some of the forerunners of the Devil Lord should start to come through a little earlier this evening before the portal has reached full size. They should come through and help to prepare the way for their master.
Do I think there's any way that I could convince these demons that Felix was the one that summoned them?
Devils. Probably not. The lady, because so you can give me a Arcana or Religion check.
19.
Yeah, so you know that devils. They're lawful, right? They really operate by sort of contracts and agreements that have been set down. And you're really, in order for Lady Walker to have done this, she has signed something probably in blood or has made some agreement binding her and whatever devil she has summoned. And so it would be nigh impossible to intervene in that. Hi.
They say hi.
He did say nigh impossible, not impossible.
Yeah, but that's just asking for a lot of more enemies. All right.
All right. So the party, are you guys setting out from the Blue Water Inn, heading towards the Smith?
Yep.
Are you going to wake the Smith up?
Yes.
Yeah, with his stuff.
Yeah, I'm not
We
going
can
to
use the dwarven remedy as necessary.
Yeah.
You're going to use the Dwarven remedy on the Smith?
If he doesn't wake up with his gentle kick to the ribs.
No, we'll kill the Smith. No, we'll wake him up.
Stop killing everyone.
You know what?
Yeah. So
I can cast Lesser Restoration on him, right?
You can, yeah.
I can wake him up.
No, I'll just do that.
Okay.
I can wake him up.
So you cast Lesser Restoration on him. It sort of cleanses his system. By the way, you could have done that to Nico as well, but
it was too entertaining.
Yeah, so you cast Lesser Restoration. Sort of this calm, cleansing fire sort of sweeps down, sort of head to toe across the Smith, and you see him sort of stretch, and he sits up and he kind of looks around. And goes, "Oh, that was a party."
Yes, it was.
You guys. Wow, I feel surprisingly good.
Oh, that was my my lord that helped.
You must have some dwarven constitution in you.
He goes, "Oh, Oh, you think so, Master Boomer? You don't think it was the Lord?
Yeah. Maybe your ancestors, someone laid with a dwarf, and now you're here.
Wow.
Sure, we can go with that.
Carry it with honor.
Well, I do have a question for you. Actually, more of a favor. May we use your forge?
After a party like that, absolutely. Come,
Would you?
let's get it lit.
Sweet. It would probably be wise to have him help as well, right?
Well, he would know. He's not going to know the specifics, but he will know about his forge, like the equipment and stuff that he
Scalpel.
has. So it'll definitely help. It'll definitely help out to have him there.
Yeah. So I want to ask if he would stay along for the ride, basically, and help out in any way he can.
He says, gladly. What else am I going to do today? Besides, I think I'm going to feel better than everybody else in town this morning. So let's
Be
get
productive.
God, can you imagine being a hungover blacksmith banging on metal?
Oh God!
Oh.
Just hot,
Heat.
just that forge
Yeah.
heat hitting you, and just clang.
Oh.
Oh God, that would be the worst.
You should help him light the forge, Oscar.
Oh, I definitely will.
All right, so you guys are going to head off. So the forge is towards the east end of town.
All right. And that's where we head to.
All right, so yeah, you guys head east out of
I'm going to stay in the inn.
Hope you got
He's gotta
another
wait
one
for
of those,
Felix.
hope you got another one of those lesser restorations handy.
Well, we know he can survive the remedy process, so I think we're fine.
Yeah. All right, so you guys head off. Felix, are you gonna head back to the inn, or what was your plan?
Yeah, I'll head back to the inn.
All right, so yeah, you see them as you're heading south back towards the inn. You see them sort of heading off east with someone in a sort of a burly man with sort of large arms, no hair.
I put two and two together.
Yeah, you're like, oh, I see what's going on here. Okay.
Did we see him as you're walking by?
So you guys don't see Felix. Felix sees you as he's walking south. You guys are walking east.
Gotcha.
Felix, do you sort of catch up to him, or?
Yeah.
All right, yeah. So Felix sort of runs up, his hood up, and sort of joins back up with the party.
How was your evening, gentlemen?
Top of the morning to you. It was very great. We are busy at the moment, so we're going to finish up doing what we need to do here. You're welcome to come with us, or you can chill at the inn.
Off to the smith, yes?
Yes.
Yep.
All right. I'd like to check out this shop.
Okay.
All right, so you guys are heading off. Well, everyone minus Nico, who is, I presume, drinking at the inn.
I'm drinking, but in a slightly more moderate way than.
Right. Yeah, like you're like, look, I just need something to kill this edge of sobriety.
Yeah.
I just need something to blur the edges a little bit.
Just keep me on an even keel,
Right. Yeah.
Instead of having a line of bottles, he's just having 2 bottles now.
Yeah. Just something moderate. Yeah.
Mainlining some wine.
Yeah. This is simply breakfast drinking.
Yeah.
All right. So you guys all head over to the smith. You walk in, typical sort of blacksmith. You see all of his tools are hung up along one wall. There's a forge. It is the coals are sort of banked. It's obviously not hot or working, but there's some coals that are banked in it. Clearly this is a working blacksmith. You see barrels. You've got saltwater, freshwater, oil. He's got the horn. All the tools that are that you would sort of need are here. He's got like a small kiln, sort of melting stuff down, or not a small
Furnace.
Furnace. Thank you. And for melting stuff down.
Which we need is for the silver.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's get started on it. I guess we were do the casting or the blessing of all the stuff, and then
yeah. So you're gonna need to consecrate the ground of the smith.
Yeah. That's the plan. bless everything.
Yep.
I don't think we have the big C spell, but we can do ritual type thing, maybe to do a minor version of it.
Yep. Yeah, you think so definitely you guys, because you guys have been sort of gearing up for this for a while, Gaston and Asker, you guys have been gearing up for this for a while. So you guys have been sort of praying and meditating. You've been in contact with your deities. You're like, look, we got a thing. I think we can help out. And they were like, yes, it's not something that one of us made. However, we think we can work together. So sort of Ogma and Bahamut, they've been sort of talking across the pantheon. They know what purpose you guys are working towards, that this is something that, this is definitely a tool of the light that is going to help pull this, this valley out of darkness.
Can Boomer, so I know Boomer's not a paladin or a cleric, but he's, I presume, also still well aware of Moradin.
Yep.
Can he say some kind of like prayer to Moradin?
Yeah. What does that prayer sound like?
Out?
That's right. I'm one of those DMs.
All right.
Oh, dear God, help me. I promise. If you help me through this today, I won't do it again.
Felix hears all this and heads back towards the inn.
Oh yeah, you're like, ooh, there's a lot of holy talk happening. Yeah.
Start the
Lo,
forge with some sacred flames.
Lo, Allhammer. Lo, the divine smith. We beseech you and ask you to bless these tools and these metals with your gift of creation. Lo, we are unworthy of these things. We are the children of the earth. We ask Moradin, give us your blessing.
So
yeah, I said that.
Yeah, very good, excellent. So at the conclusion of your blessing, you see one of the smith's hammers, sort of one of the smith's hammers, sort of a medium-sized hammer, you see it light up. You see it comes off with this sort of silver glow as you finish the blessing, and then you also see one of the horns, one of the sort of the anvils, one of the horns also sort of glow silver. And you have a feeling that although you're not necessarily one of like the faithful, that
right.
you know that Moradin is sort of with you in this work.
That's awesome. Yeah. I'll grab the hammer and start, whatever ore or metals that we need to start working on this.
All right, so
start tempering
Askern, you sort of get the feel the sort of spiritual tap on your shoulder, and you feel inside of you sort of the fire that normally sits inside of you.
Mm-hmm.
You feel it a little more keenly, like it feels hotter than it ever has before, and sort of larger, like it needs to get out of you.
I spit that into the forge that needs the firing.
Yeah. So you do you say any words, any sort of?
Just thank my gods once again, and just more of just a focused thought of knowing what needs to be done.
Right. So you can feel Bahamut sort of moving through you. You open your jaws, and once again, Bahamut sort of moves through you in your fiery breath, and this sort of gold and silver flame shoots out of your mouth into the forge, and it lights the forge with the silver and gold flame. And the blacksmith is like, "Ho, ho! There's no fuel in there," but yet it burns. And Gaston, you can feel Ogma sort of talking to you, and in your head you get just sort of this list of specifications of, okay, this is the temperature that the heat needs to be. This is, this is how you need to work the bellows. This is what you need to do to get everything to the right conditions. Do you say anything? Do you say any prayers? Anything?
Oh, Ogma, binder of what is known, Lord of knowledge, the wisest of gods, help guide us in recreating this stake of goodness to slaughter the evil that is of the world and bring balance back to this place.
Right. Nice. Yeah. So you step forward after saying the words, and this knowledge is just filling your head. Like, I mean, you've never really smithed before. Like, you've read some of the basic theories of things, but you've never like really done this before. But you can feel the knowledge of how to sort of work this forge to sort of get the fire to the right conditions. And you begin sort of working the bellows, and you can see the silver and gold flame begin to grow. The forge becomes sort of superheated, and you begin telling Boomer what you need, like sort of the amounts of the silver and the gold, some of the precious gems and things that need to go into the making of this holy artifact. Boomer, you're moving with a precision that you've never been able to work with while working metal. Like, you can feel like while you're holding this, holding these tools that Moradin has blessed, that because you made kindness, but it was sort of a rough, it was a rough creation. You've never done any sort of fine filigree work, anything that's been sort of detailed, anything that was made to house sort of beauty and holiness. Everything that you've made has just been sort of, rough made for killing. Like, it was purpose built.
Right.
It wasn't pretty, but it got the
Practicality.
job done. Right.
Yeah.
This is suddenly, it's fine, detailed work. And you begin adding the materials in, and hammering out metal on the stake, sort of flattening out, grinding where you need to grind. Askern, after Boomer has sort of heated the metal up, and you can see the sort of the combined power of Moradin, Ugma, and Bahamut, coming from the flame. You can see it seeping into the very metal itself. You now step forward, taking sort of the liquid metal that has been infused with the holy power, and you begin to pour it into the stake that you've prepared, sort of the lines and the chills, all the chilled lines and stuff that you've prepared.
Yeah.
You begin pouring the metal in. And you can see it going in, and as it does, you see flashes of gold and silver light that are coming from it as each of the sigils, these celestial sigils, are completed and finished. And you can see the stake, which was made of this, it was like sort of a dull metal. You can see now the body of it is sort of taking on this almost luminescent silver quality. As you continue to work on it, and then so I need Gaston and Askern to give me religion checks.
14 plus. I don't know my bonus is. Give me 1 second.
Man. Can I make it Arcana instead of religion? 18 total.
18's good, yeah.
Well, I've only got a plus
20
6 for my religion, but my Arcana is plus 11.
20. I got a plus 6 for mine.
Okay, so yeah, 18 and 20. So yeah, you guys, the spirit has moved you, we would say. You guys are definitely sort of one with your gods. You are definitely, even you've spent a lifetime in service to these deities, and you can feel that sort of coming back to you. All the service, all the sacrifice, everything that you've done in the names of these deities, you can feel that power in a very real way moving through you. Gaston, as you are checking Azkern's work, blessing the sigils with Ugma's energy to make sure that the stake is fully formed. You guys spend hours. It's almost like surgery, but they sort of the time sort of melts away. You don't even realize how long it's been. I mean, the sun is sort of up and it's sort of moving across sort of late afternoon. As you guys continue to work on this, and finally the work finishes. There's a flash of light. Boomer, your mohawk is just drenched with sweat as you're in there, and you're like, look, I'm doing this as a dwarf. You're naked, right?
Right.
For the heat of the
Yeah.
forge, like this is how
Traditional.
This is how we do it. You take the final product and you grind it down to a sharp, gleaming point. Like it is the point of this. It's really interesting because the thing is, you've got this thing like needle sharp, like it's super, super sharp. And yet when you or Azkern or Gaston touch it, it doesn't draw any blood. Like you can touch, like you touch the end of this thing and it doesn't hurt you at all. Like it's, even though it's needle sharp, like you can touch this thing and handle it. It's on your person. You don't feel any ill effects from it at all.
Cool.
And so finally you finish this thing, and Azkern and Gaston, both of you have the knowledge that it's not finished.
And we need that thunder.
You need, it needs sort of the final energy of from the storm god to hit that thing. But you know that your gods are, they're working for you in the pantheon. They're like, look, we're trying to arrange this. We're going to make this happen. Keep listening. Keep your spiritual ears open. Like we're gonna let you know, but we're gonna make this happen. But the vessel, this thing is ready to sort of receive that final energy to activate it. But this thing is back to its former glory, and it's absolutely beautiful.
Is there a way that before we go, we can make some sort of like a lightning rod that has a little like clasp or holder or gripper thing that could hold on to it so that we can mount the lightning rod someplace?
So you could.
Grounding clamp?
You could. You don't think you'll need that though, as what you're looking for is really sort of
celestial thunder.
Yeah, you're looking for the blessing of a storm god to come down, and it will find this thing when it's ready.
Who's got to hold it?
I'm holding it.
Yeah,
In
that's
all
correct.
metal?
Yeah, I'm fine.
I'm not a better choice. He's tall.
Did while all of this was going on, did I because I'm not familiar with like say divine presence and things like that, did I feel like my god Morden, with us?
You felt him, you felt him move, you felt him moving through your hands, and the tools that you were wielding as you were working and shaping the metal and the stake. You had never done any sort of work this fine or this focused, and you don't think it was all you doing that work, as you're like, I've never even practiced doing some of this stuff, but suddenly Morden's hands were your hands, and you really felt, and you were like, you had never felt anything like that. Like, you knew Morden existed and you knew that sort of the gods were there, but you're like, look, I've kind of been on my own, and
I've never prayed to them. I had no tongue for it.
Right. And suddenly you're feeling the presence of your God, and you begin to understand a little bit what a lot of the priests and stuff that you had heard, a lot of the clergy were talking about. And you're like, oh, okay, I see here. I see what's going on.
Nice.
All right. So the stake is, the vessel of the stake is prepared and ready. Nice work, gentlemen. That thing is ready to go. What are Felix and Nico doing?
When we're done, I'm going to send off a cool blacksmithing poem off to Ogma as a way of thanks.
Ooh, nice. Are you going to carve it into the premises or?
Oh yeah, on the lintel.
Nice. Yeah. So, oh man, yeah, this would be super cool. Yeah. So you pull out your stylus, right? Sort of your quill. and normally, right, it's ink and paper, but you are actually able to write it. Was that metal or stone?
It's a blacksmith, so probably not wood.
Probably not wood, right? I'm thinking if it's gonna be metal or stone. We'll say
And I do
metal.
have scribing tools that can
So
etch
you're
metal.
actually just with this quill, as you're doing this as a blessing, as you're doing this as a tribute to Ogma, your stylus is actually able to scribe into the metal itself as you're writing, and you write this poem to Ogma, thanking her thanking him for the blessing of the knowledge to complete this task.
It'll be something short, like the village blacksmith from Henry Wadsworth Longfellow.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah, so I'll have been. So I guess I was in the inn. What when Felix came in?
Yeah, you were there when Felix comes in.
So I guess
Nico, you look better than you should today.
Yeah, I'm feeling remarkably sprightly, actually. I think,
like sitting, but
yeah, a little bit sore, a bit stiff, but to be expected.
Yeah, why are you standing at the bar?
Yeah,
sodomy will do that.
So I guess I picture Nico kind of like in the corner of the room, just sort of like slumped up against the wall with like like a glass of wine, like looking out the window of the inn, just watching the village, watching the day go past as I'll have found Strahd's book again, and I'll be kind of leafing through it again, kind of chuckling to myself.
Right. Okay.
Ah, you found the book, huh?
Yeah, I knew I'd put this thing somewhere. I don't know. I guess must have just misplaced it for a while. You know how it is with these these modern robes.
This massive leather.
So many pockets.
Must have misplaced it. Oh.
Maybe
what's in the book of Strahd?
It's his diary. It's his like personal thoughts and stuff from when he came to the valley, and it sort of chronicles his descent into undeath and madness.
Oh man, if you ever let Gaston know you have that, he's gonna be all over that shit.
Yeah. Just thought I'd do a bit of light reading. Look at this pathetic excuse for a dictator this valley has.
I'll show him how to dictate.
Funny you should mention him. We may have a problem on our hands that Lady Wachter thinks we were sent by him.
Why would Lady Wachter... Hang on. Where were you last night, Felix?
What do you mean, where was I? There was a party here going on.
All right, okay, just what
broad strokes.
Just give me the rundown of what we're dealing with.
No judgment zone, right?
This is one evil guy to the other.
From one con man to another.
What did you do, Felix?
I was part of it. I didn't directly do it, but
yeah. Like we're through the opening statements of the defense now. Let's get to the closing arguments.
Skip to the end.
Erwin said Lady Wachter wanted the town. The burgomaster wanted all these parties. They were kind of getting old.
Mm-hmm.
So I delivered the burgomaster to Lady Wachter, and one thing led to another.
Right.
And no, there may or may not be a portal opening to hell, one of the 9 hells in this town. So as soon as our friends are done in the forge, we need to get out of here and leave this forsaken Barovia.
Owen!
By killing
Owen,
that
more
guy.
wine!
Yeah.
Erwin sort of rousts himself. He comes slumping over. He looks bad, like bad. he kind of comes slumping over. He's like, "Is your leg hollow? Like what the?" And he just sort of like he just clinks a bottle down on the table, and he's like,
one for my wandering friend here.
He looks over. And goes,
thank you.
"Oh, I'll be back." And he just sort of shambles away, and he's like, "Go slow, huh, man? Just."
I'll mage hand like a bottle and be like, "Is this one okay?"
And he's like, "Fine, fine."
Save you a trip.
Some breakfast would be good as well. You know, chop chop.
Yeah.
And yeah, he looks back at you with just, I mean, his one bleary, bloodshot eye over his shoulder. Like he's just kind of like looks at you and he goes, "You want me to go stand over that hot stove to make you something to eat?" And he kind of, something to eat?
Yeah.
I cast suggestion on him with what I say next. Say, you know, I think you're in the mood to show us some true appreciation and make the finest breakfast you've ever made in your entire life.
What's the save on that?
That is a wisdom save of 15.
4. so it sort of comes through, and you can see like there's definitely like there's a discontinuity that's happening in his head, right? Like there's an inconsistency where he's like, his brain is suddenly telling him like, dude, we should get back there and whip up some killer eggs and whatnot for these guys. Like they are paying guests, you know, and Duke Nico's your friend. Like I don't, you know, and his body is just going, what? And so he like you see him look at you and he just goes, you know, on second thought, you need a good breakfast. Everybody needs a good breakfast.
There you go.
Most important meal of the day.
And he just turns and then you hear him mumble as he's walking back to the thing. He just goes, "It's always sunny in Barovia." And he just like shuffles back to the kitchen.
That's funny. Hey, I got a question.
Yeah.
After we're done with the forge thing, what I would think that since we are in a place of evil, that maybe with all the blessing that's been going on in this one little center, wouldn't it be wise for my character to like detect evil real quick, like after he's done, to make sure he didn't call upon any evil forces right then and there?
Yeah, I mean that is definitely logically consistent. If you think that is something that Askern would do, then absolutely.
Well, yeah, because he's all about doing the good things, but he also wants to protect people.
Yeah, I mean, Askern, yeah, he's been in the fight a little bit. He knows that when you start drawing down, when you start calling down some blessings, it can attract attention.
All right, cool. Then I'll go ahead and use one of my slots for that.
Okay.
I'll just kind of, see if I detect that portal.
What's the range on that?
Please detect it. Please detect it.
Hold on, I have to go get my character sheet real quick, or my $10 outside.
Let's see. Hold on. What are you casting?
It is one of my. It's not. It's not a.
Oh,
spell.
It's one of your divine sense.
Yeah, divine sense. That's what
as
it is.
an action, you can detect good and evil until the end of your next turn. You can sense anything affected by the Hallow spell or the location of Celestial Fiend Undead within 60 feet. So you do not, where you're at now, you don't sense that portal.
Okay. Well, I will just keep a lookout for that the rest of the day as we go back.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Because I think my character would think something bad's gonna happen. Like at the very least, like Strahd will send some minions. He
this
seems to
is
know.
Barovia.
Yeah,
right.
he seems to know what we're doing. So.
Right. Is the forge going to be like a beacon now? Because it's all consecrated?
It is, yeah, probably for the next like 48 or so hours. Because, they didn't set up like a permanent sort of consecration, but like definitely for the next 48 hours, it's still going to be glowing sort of celestially hot.
Nice.
All right. So, it is now sort of late afternoon when you guys finish the forge work. You guys gonna head back? Are you guys heading back to the inn?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So you have this now, really sort of this holy artifact in your possession. Sort of the completed stake of containment, right?
Of uneviling.
Right, of uneviling.
Keep it away from me.
The de-evilizer.
Yeah. And you guys are walking back to the inn. Sun's sort of going down. The town's pretty quiet. Everyone's pretty having a pretty mellow day, pretty slow day, we'll say. You get back. You guys get back to the inn. You see Felix and Nico are sitting in the common room. Definitely
we
not.
should just be messaging each other.
Right, they're not scheming. That's what they're not doing.
Were the townspeople like expecting there to be this party today?
They were. Everybody woke up super late, like even the guards and stuff, and they noticed. So everyone noticed, like in the town square, that there was, there's sort of this large sort of sun effigy thing that was supposed to be sort of set ablaze. There's a light drizzle that's happening, but strangely, like once everyone kind of gets up and gets moving, gets their brain like functioning and everything, they're like, "Oh, wasn't that festival supposed to start today?
Where's the Burgomaster?
Where's the Burgomaster?" Yeah, everyone's like, "Where's the Burgo?" Because normally he's chivvying the guards to start rounding everybody up to force everybody into the square to watch these. It's sort of a mandatory festival. It's a mandatory celebration. That's really what people are tired of, is like, they're all, dude, like.
See, I brought liberty to Wallachia.
Right.
Oh, I do also have a question before we left the forge. Would it be possible to grind down some of my silver and stuff like that? Because I realized for some of my spells I need like silver dust, basically.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, while you're there, you can take advantage of all the metalworking facilities
that I need for my components.
Cool. And so you get back to the inn. Some people are starting to, sort of the dinner crowd kind of starting to come in. You hear some talk of the Baroness has been sort of going about town looking for her husband. Some vague rumors people have like heard, what's going on?
Quiet as a mouse.
Right. I hadn't heard a squeak out of that guy. Peep out of that guy. What'd you say? Shut up. All right, so you guys are all gathered back together at the inn.
We gotta go.
Fantastic spread that he's prepared for us, presumably.
Yeah, so he's been in the kitchen. You've heard like faint vomiting noises from back there all afternoon. But that guy has been turning out some pretty decent food.
Yeah.
For some reason he's got it into his head that like he really's got to put on a spread today.
Yeah.
How about a meal to go?
So the sun, it's sort of late afternoon, heading towards the evening. It's a 2-day trip from here to Barovia.
We better get going.
To all of the eggs.
Hey, before we go, I want to have a quick chat with Askern.
Yeah, actually, I was about to say the same thing too.
Because the stake removes the evil and leaves the non-evil from people, right? It doesn't actually kill the people you stab it into, unless they're all evil.
The part where you stick the stake in does.
Yeah, it would kill somebody, but it would disperse all the evil within them.
It's gonna take it'll take all the evil. So I mean, it would kill them.
It basically would cleanse the soul.
Right.
So if we stab them in the thigh, they'll die anyway?
It turns out the cleansing of the soul is not a gentle process.
It's kind of like a heart direction thing.
So you know where you guys could touch that stake and it didn't harm you at all. It has the opposite effect on those that sort of the more evil you are, the more it affects you.
Mm-hmm.
No, I can raise dead now.
So if you were to stab, you think that they would have to be they might have to be somewhat weakened for this to have sort of full effect, depending on when you stab them.
So, question: is being bound and gagged considered weak, or do we have to beat the hell out of them first?
You might have to beat them down a little bit. It also depends on how strong of an entity they are.
What if they're just a level 10 necromancer?
What if they're just a level 10
speaking.
necromancer? So level 10
Hypothetically
necromancer, you think they wouldn't have to be too physically wounded, but if they were to be stuck with this thing, especially if it was being struck by lightning, it would definitely cleanse them, but it would probably kill them.
Yeah, witches, I'm fine with that.
I got raised dead. We can fix that.
Yeah, I got revivify, so I
dead.
Raise him.
He'd only be mostly dead, right?
Yeah,
So,
he's mostly dead.
But you think something like Strahd, you'd have to beat Strahd down a little bit. You'd have to weaken his defenses. But something that it was that purely evil, if you were to use the stake on him and sort of he was sort of properly weakened and whatnot, and you'd gotten past some of the defenses. If you were to use it on Strahd, you think you could possibly contain him within the stake, sort of freeing the valley forever.
Okay, and then I also want to tell Gaston too that we did a lot of blessing in an area that's we're like constantly being watched. It's probably best we stay a couple of days to make sure that nothing happens to the village.
Or the smith. I'm particularly worried about the smith. We did kind of set him up for a big FU for the bad guys.
Yeah.
I'm good with that. I'd still like to try to cast a greater restoration on Felix. See if that fixes some of his problems. See if that'll solve the problem rather than stabbing him to death.
Oh, you moderates.
No, I'm all in. I like you said, we can revive him. It's fine.
Well, if we're going to do the revivify, I say we do Nico first.
Out of game, is Nico actually inherently evil, or he's just an asshole?
He's just an asshole, really.
That's what I
thought. He's just really kind of a selfish asshole. So Nico, he has a patron. So out of game, so Nico has a patron. He's not possessed, right?
Yes,
He's borrowing power, but he's sort of borrowing power and channeling it, but he's not necessarily possessed. Whereas Felix, on the other hand, actually didn't. Those things aren't. They're not a patron of him. He is actually not really possessed, but he has taken some of that darkness within him.
Yeah, but it's not. But it's not. Yeah, it's influenced, but it's not him.
It's not him. Yeah, he's sort of under that influence. Like the real Felix is still in there, but he's not necessarily in the driver's seat.
All right, so like back in game though, I am gonna call in Boomer to talk with us, and I'm gonna let him know that we did do a major blessing, which will leave this town pretty much as a feasting point for vampires. Like it's probably best that we stick around for a couple of days and make sure that the citizens are safe.
Yeah, we think it'll wear off in about 48 hours.
In about 48 hours, yeah. Boomer.
What are you asking me?
If we can stay in town for the next couple of days just to make sure nothing happens.
So
yeah, I don't care.
Ed, can we retcon a little bit while they were at the forge, Nico and I?
Sure.
We just had some so our messaging conversation. So after I was done with my amusing tour through Strahd's journal, then so Felix and I will have been chatting a bit about about
The portal.
Felix may have told me that we needed to leave before a demonic portal destroyed the town. So my main question was whether it would annoy Strahd more to leave it open or to close it. And on balance, Felix believed it would annoy Strahd more to close it, so I was up for closing it. So Felix and I will sneak out of the inn while the others are at the forge and head towards, I guess, the
mini
the
mansion,
house.
the 8/9 mansion.
Right. Okay. So you guys are doing this during the day, like when you when you first went back to the inn, you told them about it. So this isn't like late in the afternoon. This is sort of early in the day. Okay. All right. So we'll stop there.
Yep.
With you guys heading back up towards the mansion to see if you can't do a little devil damage.
House cleaning.
A little house cleaning.
Yeah.
And
is the frog stew ready?
Is the frog stew ready? It's actually just a broth at this point. It's not a full.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll leave it there. We'll pick it up next week.
Yeah.
With you guys going up to try and destroy that portal.
Yeah.
Maybe having to square off with some sort of devil cabal.
What's the worst that could happen?
What's the worst that could happen?
You could get sacrificed.
Ooh.
All right.
Got one portal.
So we will leave it there for the week. We'll pick it up next week.
Right.
I was going to ask, is it at all possible for next week for us to start a little earlier and play till our normal time?